it's more about, just putting ourselves in the best position, which I think we've done. Our guys have earned the right, in my opinion, to play in the NCAA tournament.
An undefeated regular season as we take a look at Miami's tournament resume, brought to you by Kubota. Redhawks suffering not only their first loss of the year, this also goes as a quad 4 loss. They had been perfect in that area. Obviously, they'd been perfect on the year. What did CBS Sports Bracketology do with them? They dropped them 1 seed line from the 10 line to the 11 for now. One of the last 2 teams actually avoiding the first 4 in Dayton, which actually would be fun, John. Whether you call it the WAB or the WOB, it's still a decent number that they have as a rank.
No question. It would be a standalone game for Miami in its home state in Dayton. That would obviously be a lot of fun for everybody involved in the NCAA tournament. But one thing I think we need to keep an eye on, Miami, as of right now, is safely in the NCAA tournament, but they're projected to be in Dayton. Over the next couple of days, there are multiple leagues where we could see teams that are currently not projected in the NCAA tournament be in a situation where they steal a bid, and that would bump Miami down a little bit. That is a big thing to monitor right now over the next couple of days. If the Atlantic 10 has a team other than St. Louis and potentially VCU win the Atlantic 10 tournament, we will have a bid stealer. And if the Mountain West has any team other than Utah State win the Mountain West tournament on Saturday, we will have a bid stealer. So there's a lot to play out right now over the next 72 and a half hours.
But you've talked about sentimental favorites in the past. Do you think that there's a certain cachet with this 31-0 regular season that'll keep them in?
I definitely think so, Adam, but I also felt 3 years ago in 2023 that Seton Hall and St. John's were NCAA tournament teams. Then, if you remember, Duquesne won the A-10 tournament. Oregon and Dana Altman went on a run in a now-defunct Pac-12 tournament. Bid stealer after bid stealer continued to mess up the bracket. All I can say is this is only 5:31 on Thursday.
And these are not UConn problems.
not UConn.
It's all about UConn.
So here's the thing. I mean, if Miami was in it at 31-0, I think they should be in it at 31-1. And from a more personal standpoint, like, as players, you hear, you're locked in at this time of year, but you hear the chatter. And I would love to see Miami get a chance to get in there and just quiet the noise. Get a chance to, hey, you guys just said that, we're this, we're that. Let us get into the tournament and show you what we have.
And if they get in, they're happy to not playing him.
Yeah. Full disclosure, Travis Steele, Xavier coached for a while. I coach at Xavier, so I'm a little partial. But even without that, when you win 31 games in a row, the only team in the country going into this postseason tournament, undefeated, they deserve to be in. Maybe the first 4, fine, but they deserve to be in my opinion. They played Massachusetts twice. One game was a 2-point game. Frank Martin's an outstanding coach. Took South Carolina. John and I are talking to the Final Four a number of years ago. So, yeah, disappointing, but they should be. I don't care who steals this. People stole things from my whole life. They should be in the tournament, even the first 4, all right? So I think they should deserve to be in for their body of work.
I think Pete's and Emeka are spot on. They deserve to be in, but that might be out of their control if we see bid stealers. If there's no bid stealers, Miami is comfortably in. But there's a couple of other teams out there, SMU, Texas, VCU, that are right on that cut line.
Yeah,
but they're right on the cut line.
Well, you talked about how personal it was, right? So our friend Bruce Pearl was at Auburn last year. His son's coaching the team, so he's been in the spotlight talking about whether it would come down to Auburn, Miami, Ohio, where he feels it belongs. And so he even, after their loss, he had this to say, right? I've always been a mid-major guy, getting out in front of it. I think a 1-loss Miami, Ohio team should get in. I don't think they're one of the best 37 at-large teams, but one of the most deserving. Good for the MAC, Cinderella, and March Madness. Well, now flip it around. What?
His son's a coach of Auburn.
I know.
So what do you think?
Forget about it. Ohio, though.
It's a boat race.
He's saying he's in support.
I love Bruce, but come on, calm down.
Well, we might have Miami, Ohio against Auburn in Dayton.
That's fine.
Would be fun.
I don't care. Just get Miami in.
All right, I'm trying here. I'm trying to.
They deserve it.
Move on. You got fired up.
No, I just want to help the little guy. I've been kicked around my whole life, so I like to see.
By the way, we need to talk about your phone settings before you.
I have some tough luck.
Why am I your emergency contact?
My whole life been an emergency.
Let's tell the Auburn story.
It's been a tough decade.
Miami, Ohio, joining the at-large pool. That includes Auburn coming into the day. Auburn was the last team in entering the day, according to CBS Sports Bracketology. They got bumped to the first team out following the Red Hawks loss. The Tigers, though, they're loaded with opportunities like the one they have right now against Tennessee, and they were taking advantage of it. Tahad Pettiford landing the three there, and the Tigers look good into the second half here, Pete.
Pettiford again hits the three. This is the free throw, unfortunately, but Tigers up 32-25. Nate Ament, very talented. Bang from the corner triple. Ball's down 2, 51-49. Jalen Carey, boop, gets his own rebound and finished the second chance.
Yeah,
Tennessee up 51-51, 20-point run.
Yes,
Unbelievable.
There was a 20-0 run, a 26-3 run by Tennessee. And so, look, Auburn, this is their resume coming in. Huge number on the strength of schedule side. Should they lose this game and get in, John, they would have the most losses ever of an at-large team.
Yeah, 17-16, I think, is a really, really tough sell because of what you just said, the most losses. Auburn did a lot of good this season in year one under Stephen Pearl, but they needed to get this Tennessee game to feel really good about Sunday.
All right, we're watching that 5-point game, minute to go there. We'll keep you posted. Potential bid stealers, though, alive in the Big East. Seemingly none, though, in the Big 12. We'll hit both after the break.
Why wait for the summer when the world's superstars are already battling? 16 iconic clubs, 0 second chances, and every match is a main event. The UEFA Champions League knockout phase. Stream every match live on Paramount Plus.
AT&T's been carrying America's calls since the 1800s. When you've been around that long, you can spot a hustle coming from a mile away. T-Mobile is the master of breaking promises. While they stay caught up in untruths, AT&T keeps building what matters, a network you can rely on. Right, Graham? When you compare, there's no comparison. Plain talk, strong signal, nothing better.
Hello.
Yo.
Hey.
You know what I'm thinking?
What are you thinking?
Hawks, Pelicans, Raptors, dinosaur parlay.
Okay.
I feel like mascots should affect the over-under, no? Try saying player props 3 times fast. Player props, player props, player props. A little easier than I thought it was going to be. I don't know. Ooh, betting in space? I'll be honest, I think the moon's overrated. I'm sorry. Back to my original thought.
Oh, my God.
New customers get up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days if your bets don't win.
This is a story about the one. The one who looks to Grainger to make sparks fly. Getting it done right is a craft. It takes experience, the right material, and the right partner like Grainger with a wide range of professional-grade products. For the one, working hard means others can play even harder. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get tax expertise without hidden fees. Switch to a TurboTax expert for $150. All tax situations, all returns, $150, all in, no surprises. Now this is taxes.
Sports was just like icing on the cake.
Family is the most important thing. And so that's what drives me.
Keep making them basket.
Love on your parents. That's where you came from.
CBS Sports HQ hits every highlight from all the sports that matter to you.
A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
And analysis to give you an edge.
Big news coming out of the NFL.
I was shaking in my boots. CBS Sports HQ, streaming free 24/7.
Let's blast through the Big 12. Arizona all over UCF. Toby Awaka throwing it down. If you thought 16-4 was something, look at this, Emeka.
Ooh, Braden buries the three. Wildcats up 30-8. Bradley to Pete with the strong take and finish. Wildcats up 39-12. And then back to Awaka again for the strong finish. Wildcats finish 81-59.
So they're good. Now we have a bit of a situation here. Iowa State's all over Texas Tech in this game behind Joshua Jefferson's near triple-double, but there's an injury coming here for Texas Tech as well.
Yep, no question about it. Nice throw to the corner. Lipsy from way down, knocks down a three. Cyclones up 59-39. Loose up. Here we go.
This is that floor at the Big 12 tournament.
Christian Anderson.
Controversial floor, and that's their star. Christian Anderson already without JT Toppin. And that was about 8 minutes left in the game. Jefferson throws it down. Anderson says he was okay, but he did not come back into the game. Now to the Big East. Seton Hall, potential bid stealer. Jacob Dar having a day, John.
Yeah, Josh Dix, though, going to come off the curl and make this shot for Creighton. They made it 54-52. But Dar again, 16-5 today, Adam. Seton Hall 2 wins away from the NCAA tournament. This is a bid stealer to watch at Madison Square Garden.
They've got that potential. They're among those next 4 out entering play. St. John's, though, is the top seed and coming away with the ball against Providence, Emeka.
He would have 14 and 13. That's his second double-double this season. Now Ejiofor to Jackson for the 3. Red Storms up 20 points. Wow. Little big-to-big entry pass, post work. We're good. St. John's wins 85-72.
And you know Bryce Hopkins enjoyed it a little extra. He had that first play, a double-double for him. We're getting closer to tip-off between Nevada and Grand Canyon in the second Mountain West quarterfinal. Taking you up until tip-off here on Inside College Basketball Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.
Stand up!
I really want to be a part of winning gold.
I want to win. It's time to climb that mountain to the top.
Brenna, I want you to find happiness in who you are because you are the gold.
Family is not just here because you're winning. We'll always be proud of your kid.
When the program ends, I want to see that smile on your face.
Don't worry. You can't prevent sick days, but you can prepare with Kleenex lotion tissues that protect, soothe, and moisturize your skin for whatever happens next. Grab Kleenex.
Are you throwing away money on your car insurance?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Try Insurify. We help you compare quotes and save half on your car insurance.
I like it when things are convenient and save me lots of money.
Go to Insurify.com and save up to $1,000 a year on your car insurance.
Things at work don't always work. But with Easy Cater, the food always does. Connection unstable? Easy Cater always comes through.
And I think it's looking pretty good.
The presentation drags on. Easy Cater keeps things streamlined. Client canceled? Easy Cater always shows up. Every day works better with Easy Cater. Learn more at easycater.com.
Do you suffer in pain? Are you stiff, tense, or less active than before? Introducing the EasyWell Remedy Massage System that combines the incredible effects of vibrational therapy, targeted deep tissue shiatsu massage, plus soothing infrared heat. A triple fusion of therapeutic experiences. Full body vibrational therapy increases blood circulation and reduces inflammation. Look at these beads moving from the powerful vibrational motors.
It's like 1,000 little fingers just vibrating my body from head to toe.
Infrared heat penetrates deep to reduce pain, soothe, and relax.
Remedy gets in there and helps deal with the source of the pain, so you feel much better.
The Ultra Shiatsu pillow with 6 infrared heated nodes mimics a professional massage. Plus, it's detachable for deep relief anywhere you need it.
It's just something that you're gonna have to feel for yourself.
Experience the true remedy for your pain and stiffness. Call now.
All right, we're back. Results from the Big Ten. Ohio State's Bruce Almighty becoming the second player ever in Big Ten history. 2,000 career points, 500 rebounds, 500 assists. Now they're going to face Michigan. And how about John Blackwell from Wisconsin, a career-high 34, most ever by a Badger in the Big Ten tournament. You got the semifinals and the championship game on CBS this weekend. From the ACC, results coming in. Virginia, only 4 losses all year. Miami's won 8 of 10. You also have Duke against Florida State, Carolina Clemson later tonight. Florida State with a big opportunity and the only bid stealer in this conference still going, John.
And also a big couple of days for Duke now with Caden Boozer as the primary point guard for this team. Duke needs to win the ACC tournament to remain on the path to be the top overall seed in the NCAA tournament on Selection Sunday. If the Blue Devils stub their toe and Michigan were to win the Big Ten tournament, Michigan could be in the top spot on Sunday.
Maybe. I like that head-to-head result, maybe carrying enough weight.
The quad one opportunities and the caliber of opponents that Michigan is going to play in Chicago, much better than what Duke is seeing in Charlotte.
Right.
Florida State's nowhere near the bracket.
I like
I'm
that.
peeling back the onion. I like it.
Yeah, he's an all-star. And make sure to tune in to the 2026 Reese's College All-Star Game on April 3rd, live at 3:30 p.m. Eastern right here on CBS Sports Network. Wrapping things up, getting you back out to Vegas next.
This is the week.
Hopes and dreams are on the line.
Where everything can change.
Explosive.
Conference chaos unfolds with 10 championships up for grabs. Win this and you're dancing.
Who will go all the way?
Don't miss Bracket Week on CBS Sports Network.
Thinking of updating my kitchen?
Yeah?
Yes. This year, we are finally updating our kitchen. Doing subway tile and an ivory or eggshell. Cream, maybe bone. Don't get me started on quartz. Big island. You ever heard of a waterfall
For everyone who talks about doing that thing,
And over there,
but never does that thing,
sweet little breakfast nook.
Chase has financial guidance.
See how you can start saving to make this happen.
Really?
Really?
Really.
At home or in person.
You could also check out a Chase Money Skills workshop.
That's guidance from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
The sports was just like icing on the cake.
Family is the most important thing. And so that's what drives me.
Love on your parents.
Not man.
That's where you came from.
I miss those moments in the car because it is quality time.
Keep making them baskets.
Keep reaching higher. Keep saying, I can, I will.
Down and down, on down, 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 down,
This is the one who makes sparks fly. Getting it done takes the right material, experience, and the right partner. The professional-grade products you need. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You can't prevent sick days, but you can prepare with Kleenex lotion tissues that protect, soothe, and moisturize your skin for whatever happens next. Grab Kleenex.
Who's in? Who's out? March Madness is about to begin. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Selection Show on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
All right, this one is now a final. Tennessee ends Auburn's season for now at 72-62. Again, if the Tigers do get an at-large spot, it will be the most losses ever by a team in the field with an at-large bid. A crazy schedule, though. Look it up yourself. Nevada and Grand Canyon coming up here in mere moments. Emeka, what stands out about this next matchup?
You know, this is Grand Canyon's maiden voyage in the Mountain West tournament. It's a new season, and Grand Canyon has proved to be quite very good tournament contenders. They've won the last three. Maybe they'll bring some of the magic into the Mountain West.
That's right. Yeah, they haven't lost like a tournament game in their conference since 22.
Yeah, I had one of the games this year, Grand Canyon. They're a terrific defensive team. They hold their opponents to 68 points for the game. Best in the Mountain West. Fewest points allowed. John knows that. All right. I was working. John was resting on the east side, having a Mai Tai. No, they're very good. They're impressive. They block shots. Should be a heck of a game. Grand Canyon wins with their defense.
Both these teams are good enough to win this tournament. Huge game.
There you go. All right. Yeah. John Sadak, Dan Dickau, Evan Washburn on the call. See you back here at halftime, everybody.
Jaden Henley and Mountain West newcomer Grand Canyon have turned heads in year one under Bryce Drew, riding a stifling defense. But Corey Camper Jr. and longtime league contender Nevada stand in the way, looking to leave the Lopes on the outside looking in. presented by Kubota. The chance to dance on the line all across the country. Quarterfinal action. Game 2 today in the Mountain West. It's Grand Canyon, the 4 and the 5 in Nevada. Yesterday in the first round, the worst bludgeoning this tournament has ever seen. Nevada destroyed Air Force, tamed the Falcons to 10 at the half, a rout by the time the game concluded. Grand Canyon had the grace of a bye. And we welcome you down to the floor alongside the former Gonzaga great and Dan Dickau. I'm John Sadak. Evan Washburn will be with us in just a bit. What stands out to you in this matchup led by a Grand Canyon club that does it defensively?
Well, it's a team that's in a new league. First year in the Mountain West, there were expectations that they placed on themselves. They had a chance going into the final couple weeks to maybe win a title. Their defensive presence is phenomenal.
So is Jaden Henley, first-team All-League guard.
You know, he knows this league well after spending some time at UNLV, but he has maybe been the most consistent player in the league throughout the entire year. Only one game in single-figure points. He does a good job of moving out the basketball, but where he's best is in transition. He is hard to stop.
For Nevada, they're led by the veteran and Steve Alford, over 700 wins. They do a bit of everything, led by Corey Camper Jr.
Corey Camper Jr. is playing for a head coach that understands how to get guys open for shots. Corey Camper is taking advantage of that, does a terrific job moving without the basketball, shoots it at over 40% from beyond the three-point line. He's got to be big tonight if Nevada can continue to win here in Las Vegas.
They protect the ball with the best of them. Nevada in round 1, defensive dynamos themselves claimed it in overtime. The Lokes seek revenge and their first ever Mountain West tournament win.
Get all things soccer with CBS Sports Golazo Network. Live matches from across the globe. All the latest news and highlights. When soccer is everything, the Golazo Network is the destination for you. Streaming free 24/7.
Thinking of updating my kitchen?
Yeah?
Yes. This year, we are finally updating our kitchen. Doing subway tile and an ivory or eggshell. Cream, maybe bone. Don't get me started on quartz. Big island. You ever heard of a waterfall counter?
For everyone who talks about doing that thing,
And over there,
but never does that thing,
sweet little breakfast nook.
Chase has financial guidance.
See how you can start saving to make this happen.
Really?
Really?
Really.
At home or in person.
You could also check out a Chase Money Skills workshop.
That's guidance from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Southwest boarding begins now.
Oh no. Group C.
Thought you checked us in last night.
Well, I was a minute late.
I can't have a middle seat. Just hurry up. We gotta sit together. No, move it faster. It's pandemonium.
Act natural. Is this seat taken?
You gotta ask him.
I am not sitting in a middle seat. Get out of the way.
Don't worry. You can't prevent sick days. But you can prepare with Kleenex lotion tissues that protect, soothe, and moisturize your skin. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
A century ago, our founders made a promise to always take care of their own. That promise is still at the heart of everything we do, and why our members know we'll do what's right. Because at USAA, we take care of our own.
UEFA Europa League on CBS Sports Network and stream every match live on Paramount+.
Oh, there is a lot of life and energy down in the lower bowl at Thomas and Mack. We close in on tip. Steve Alford closing in on his second game of this Mountain West tournament. 3-time Mountain West Coach of the Year. He took this tournament twice with New Mexico in both 2012 and 2013. Take a look at our Kubota starting lineups. And these are two units that can get after it defensively. Both teams shot in the 30% range in a tight overtime game the first time they matched up. That's something that still lingers with Grand Canyon head man Bryce Drew, who has led Grand Canyon to 5 straight 20-win seasons. The big dance in 4 of his first 5 campaigns, but Evan Washburn, the Nevada matchup still lingers for Drew.
That's putting it lightly, John. Look, Bryce Drew has lived a life in basketball. Coach's son, a player, now a coach for a number of years. So when he tells you, which he did to us yesterday, that loss to Nevada earlier this season is top 3 all-time in his life, you take notice, and it was a collapse late, up 6 with a minute to play, missed free throws by their best players, fouling a three-point shooter with zeros on the clock in regulation. And it's kept him up at night. It's given him nightmares since that loss. So make no mistake, there's some serious feeling of the opportunity at redemption here on a big stage in the quarters in the Mountain West Tournament, boys.
Appreciate that, Evan. Grand Canyon, asterisk, was notably thin for that matchup against Nevada.
Missed 2 starters in that game. They've battled injuries, but they've managed to put themselves in a position where the way they're playing now, they could make a deep run here in the Mountain West Tournament.
Three-point shooting was the difference in that matchup, while Nevada was able to go incredibly deep thanks to the gaudy advantage it had against Air Force. It's not a bye, but it's probably as close as you can get to it for having played a game.
Only gave up 10 points in that first half. 14 Nevada Wolfpack players were in action last night.
We'll see who comes out today. Each head coach, strong Indiana roots, each himself pretty dynamic scorer, known for their shooting prowess in their respective heydays.
Both of them Mr. Basketballs in the state of Indiana, which goes to the Player of the Year in the high school ranks.
F.A. Demerel at 7'1", leaping against the 6'9" Elijah Price. The Lopes have it, and we are underway in Game 2 of this quarterfinal round of the Mountain West Tournament.
Grand Canyon is going to play at a slower pace. They try to get Demerel and Owusu Anani involved early, but push comes to shove. Makai Williams and Henley are going to be the guys.
Long 2 is true for the aforementioned Makai Williams. He is their second leading scorer. Nevada looking for a response. Tayshawn Comer, their point man. Facilitating Elijah Price. High kiss make that nearly went over the backboard.
I expect a lot of Nevada's actions early is to put Demerel in pick and rolls. He's enormous, but his lateral movement isn't great, especially in pick and roll situations.
Williams another long 2, and that one misses. So here comes Nevada that shines on the fast break, one of the best in the Mountain West in that regard. Camper getting a look. Comer cuts into the corner, quick load, the lefty 3, Von Weems misses. Lopes on the run. Williams fire, cutting. Owusu Anane.
He's been kind of an unsung hero, averages right around 9 points, 8 rebounds per game, but he's willing to do all the things that don't necessarily show up in the stat sheet.
Perimeter passing for Nevada, they run a lot of motion. Longtime consigliere of Steve Alford, who's best friend since 3rd grade. Craig Neal, the man known as Noodles, dials up that offense. Comer, an air ball out of bounds.
Transition opportunity for Grand Canyon. Owusu Anani, the finish.
He had missed all of last year at Brown. A shoulder injury suffered in his very first practice of the season. Said he had some bad habits the end of the road. He's been far cleaner the last couple of months. Out of the corner, showing the 3-ball. Misfire. One weak side by Camper. Comer looking for his big in the middle.
For anybody following this league, you know over the years San Diego State has been the standard on the defensive end of the floor, but this year Grand Canyon's metrics in KenPom defensively are better than San Diego State.
And there is a takeaway, drain of the lane by Demerel. One of the best in the country in that regard. Roving dribble by Williams and whistle. Yeah, they were best in the Mountain West, top 20 in the country in defensive efficiency entering this tournament.
They make you work for everything. They pressure the ball, they deny the wings to a certain extent, but then they really get in the gaps and make you take tough, difficult twos over a hand.
Williams, 80% free throw shooter, snapped twine. The WAC freshman of the year at UT Arlington a couple of years ago. It was, of course, the WAC that Grand Canyon defected to come to the Mountain West. They had dominated that conference tournament.
Yeah, 4 of the last 5 years they've been in the NCAA tournament. There was some talk about them joining the West Coast Conference when Gonzaga decided to move to the newly revamped Pac-12. it opened up an opportunity to come to the Mountain West. It's been a terrific addition this season.
Able to accelerate that. That's part of why you see the jagged records for some of the Mountain West teams in terms of games played. Von Weems looking for Price. That's tipped by the length of the massive 7-1 F.A. Desmarais.
He's got to be careful, though. He pushed that catch out, so even if Price caught it, he's going to be 17, 18 feet away. You can't pick up fouls in that situation going to knock it away. That time he got away with it.
And Nevada loves to get the ball in the paint. Comer. 4 to shoot. Comer has to hoist, rejected! And a shot clock violation. Possession exchange had not taken place yet.
He is just a massive presence on that low block. Comes over from the weak side, quick reaction. Comer tried to put it up off the top of the backboard. Didn't matter. Desmarais went and got it.
The Grand Canyon walks it up. Brian Moore Jr. coming off what his head coach called his best all-around game of the year Saturday against Fresno State. Out of bounds.
Going to see a heavy dose of that right there for Grand Canyon. Jaden Henley will get a number of different opportunities at the top of the key. They disguise how to get him there in different actions, but he is a terrific isolation player who can get downhill, put a ton of foul pressure on him.
There is Henley wide open for 3. Got it! Rattles it in.
And when he can get going from 3, it really opens things up for him. Only averages 1 made 3 per game on the year. That's not his strength, but that's a good sign for GCU early.
7-0 run, extended pressure from the Lopes, and a whistle off ball. A lot of times teams use the term ball pressure, but when you watch Grand Canyon, it looks and feels different.
Yeah, they're always in your space. They're never allowing you to get comfortable, whether it's your dribble or your passing opportunities. And if you're by chance able to get by, they're heavy in the gaps so that you don't get a clean look.
Lob entry. When we asked Bryce Drew, when your team is playing its best, what do you look like? The first thing he talked about was defense and ball pressure. That surprised you.
It absolutely did. He was a shooter, a scorer at the college level. I thought that he would have gravitated towards shooting or something on the offensive end.
Camper gets his first bucket, Nevada's top scorer.
But I was able to call a couple GCU games early this year, and going through practice, the shoot around, watching them in person, it's absolutely true. If you don't defend, you're not going to get a lot of minutes. If you defend at a high level, you will have freedom on the offensive end.
Williams trying to knock it out, but whistle. We'll get Von Weems here.
Good start for Jaden Henley and GCU, up 9-4 early. You're going to get hung up on the screen. I'll knock it down. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.
I am an American soldier. I serve the people of the United States.
I will always place the mission first. Delivery. I will never accept defeat.
I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough.
I'm an expert, not a professional. I'm a guardian of freedom and the American way of life. I am an American soldier.
Take me to the river, drop me in the water.
With the all-new Jeep Cherokee Hybrid's 500-plus miles on a single tank, 30% more cargo space, and legendary 4x4 capability, you have everything you need to get to the river safely.
Bye, Billy.
He's doing it. But after that, you're on your own. Stay safe with 140 safety features in the all-new Jeep Cherokee Hybrid.
Doesn't matter the level you're playing at or who you are. At the end of the day, the lowest score wins.
Ultimate scoring power is having something that can give you an edge everywhere.
Playing a Pro V1 gives me a sense of unshakable confidence.
Pro V1 just makes me the best player that I can possibly be.
I have 100% belief, I have 100% commitment and trust.
I could tell you with a blindfold on, when I strike it, I just know what it's going to do.
That's the power of Pro V1.
100 years ago, no one would insure cars for military members, so a group of soldiers backed each other. Today, we're still serving the military and their families with those same values our founders shared. Because at USAA, we take care of our own.
You want to file free? Hit it.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Kubota, your compact equipment provider. By Geico. It feels good to Geico. And by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Oh, the glory of the fountain. Someone might be planning a heist in Las Vegas here tonight. 9-4. The thievery early has come from Grand Canyon, forcing a couple of Nevada giveaways. Nevada fewest turnovers in the Mountain West, the only team averaging single digits, but 5-0 points off turnovers favoring the Lopes.
Well, I think early on the pressure of Grand Canyon, which you have to come to expect, has been there. Nevada will clean it up. As you mentioned, under 10 turnovers per game on the year. That's something they've been special at throughout this season.
Ryan Moore on the pound as they run offense. Owusu Anane. The bounce, Demerel, double comes. 7 to shoot, cut closer. Demerel, reverse rejected. Lowry swats it, 3 on the timer.
You know what the interior of Nevada lacks compared to GCU's front court? They make up for it in athleticism and reaction.
Demerel needs to put it up. Shot clock violation. How can that happen with 3 seconds on the inbound?
Have to understand that you've got probably, as a big on a catch in that situation, one dribble and it's got to go quick to the rim. No time for a dribble spin and a pump fake.
Well, Nevada, Camper screen. Second screen from Price. Feed the big. Couldn't handle. Owusu Anane, the funnel forward.
Missed opportunity for Price. Usually he's able to corral those and finish. He's got great hands for a big.
4 out, 1 in. Henley off the up fake, holding that pivot, falling away. Airball. Let's go to Evan.
Well, guys, the subtext of this game, the two head coaches, Bryce Drew and Steve Alford, the roots and the ties go way back to Indiana, the early 90s. Obviously, Steve Alford, a legend there. And Bryce Drew had his All-American workout tape growing up. The relationship has carried through. Bryce Drew actually called him when he was in the NBA to ask when it was time to wrap it up. And it continues now. Even after that heartbreaking loss, guys, Steve Alford went into the locker room to kind of console Bryce Drew and see how he was doing. Obviously, they want to beat up on each other today, but this goes back, these families, extremely close.
Appreciate that, Evan. Foul to Kai Williams is first. In fact, it wasn't that long ago when Bryce Alford, not named for Bryce Drew, recreated the shot. That was during Steve Alford's days coaching in Iowa when Bryce Drew was an assistant at Valpo.
Bryce had one of the all-time shots in NCAA tournament history, but you're looking at two guys that are part of families that are basketball royalty back in the state of Indiana.
Well, Price rattles it in. He is #1 in the Mountain West on the regular year in free throw takes and makes. A solid 74%, but volume. He gets there a lot.
Well, he puts so much pressure on you on rolls after setting a screen up top, but as well as on the offensive glass.
Foul Tyler Rollison. Speaking of the shot, as it's known, let's go back. 1998, 13 seed Valpo taking on 4 seed Ole Miss. Down 2.5 seconds left. Length of the floor, a 23-footer for the 1-point upset. Got to the Sweet 16 as a double-digit seed.
They were one of those first mid-majors to really crack the Sweet 16. I remember watching that game as a freshman at the University of Washington. He was a guy that I looked up to, knowing that he went on to play in the NBA. Similar size, the focus of being a great shooter.
They were just the second 13 seed to go that far in the big dance. Tip ball claimed by Nevada. We haven't really felt the rhythm of the motion offense from Nevada yet.
It's going to be hard to get to it. I mean, that's indicative of how much pressure GCU puts on you. Whether you're going to screen, take a shot, make a pass or a cut, you have to be decisive.
Out of bounds. Caleb Lowry.
And that's how they take you out of things. You get dribble penetration, but when you're spacing it, if a non-shooter's in the corner, you're gonna dribble attack. You can't split step on the catch, otherwise you'll be out of bounds. Turnover.
Couple of impactful subs here. Dusty Stromer comes in, coming off a career-high 17, 5 threes against Fresno State. And coach's nephew, Caleb Shaw, the son of top assistant Casey Shaw, who only just came back Saturday for his first action in weeks.
This is a couple weeks with a foot injury. It allowed Stromer to get even more comfortable. He was inconsistent shooting the basketball, but he's been shooting it much better as of late.
Weaves into Shaw, off iron, weak side, won by the other sub and Stromer. Williams, 3-ball on high, no. Shaw tips the ball, trapped by Nevada. Now Rolison up the floor. It's Rolison who got hacked in the act of the critical 3 to force free basketball, the only other matchup this season. Camper's been quiet, falling away, no. What a unit size-wise that Grand Canyon is out there with now the 7'2" Dennis Evans joining the fray.
They replaced 7'1" with 7'2". Not many teams in any league, let alone the Mountain West, are able to do that.
Oh, rejected on the dunk try. Williams denied on the doorstep. It's Nevada ball.
That was impressive on both ends. The offensive attack, but the reaction. What a block.
Joel Armo trading. And they're going to take a look at this.
Must be double checking to see if it went off Armo Trading's arm. It looked like it may have there. But what timing coming over from the weak side. I was impressed with that, but I was equally impressed with the explosiveness of Mekhi Williams.
So it looks like that's exactly what they're examining here. Nate Harris.
The call on the floor is Nevada basketball. The play has been challenged by Grand Canyon.
And Scott Brown, our officials here today. Well, right now this game is shaping up a lot like the first matchup. Neither team has made a bucket in over 3 minutes. Defense has been the dominant force.
And that's been the focus of Grand Canyon throughout the year. And on second and third look, I do think it's off Williams, so it should be Nevada basketball. You see him, he'll hit it right there.
Yeah, and his hand is inside, blocking any other contact off that right thumb, the side of the hand. And the biggest difference in the game right now is the Nevada giveaways. They have twice as many turnovers, 4, as made buckets, 2.
And keep in mind with this challenge, John, the fact that Grand Canyon made the challenge and it looks like they will lose it. Not only does the ball go to Nevada, but they'll lose a timeout and they'll lose a challenge, which if it's a close game, that's something to keep an eye on.
Well, Bryce Drew now in his 6th season. Turned this team into a force in the WAC. They have one of the great home court advantages in the sport. Our officials huddling up.
That's clearly off Williams of GCU.
Here's the word. Nate Harris, our lead referee.
After review, the call on the floor stands as calls. It will be Nevada basketball with 30 seconds on the shot clock. Grand Canyon will lose their timeout and their opportunity to challenge for the remainder of the game.
So no challenges rest of the way and a timeout gone. The potential one and done. We saw timeout usage in game 1. 2 burned in the first half by UNLV. Impact any window of a comeback in the second.
It may have, and that's why, you know, a lot of coaches are hesitant to call a timeout or challenge early in a game unless it is a monumental play or a team is on a big run.
Foul off ball. Looks like Nana Owusu-Nane. That is his first. He was a part of a big upset when he was at Brown a couple of years ago when they took down the 1 seed Princeton in Ivy Madness. Victor of this takes on the 1 seed Utah State. Camper trying to get going. Rollison floats it up, rattles it in. That's the first Nevada bucket in 3.5 minutes. Now it's Grand Canyon, which has missed 8 of its last 9 from the field. Into the corner, Stromer, quick load, misses. Weak side Price.
Look down at his feet upon the catch, making sure he's behind that three-point line.
Rollison, bad brick. Here comes Caleb Shaw, whose pops was a big in the league for a bit with the Sixers, longtime pro. Shaw on the drive, aggressive take.
With him missing those 11 games, they lost a little bit of their spark, their emotional leadership. He is one of those guys that's completely focused on what do I need to do to put my team in a position to win.
Multiple subs, both teams lying wait at the table. Camper trying to get cooking, defended by Stromer. Almost trading, misses. Now numbers for Grand Canyon if they push. Lob to the big man, two-hand jam, Dennis Evans.
Well, he jumped, but I don't know if he needed to on that dunk attempt.
His standing reach is 9'8".
Unbelievable.
So even with my-ups, he can get above the rim. Amir Robinson. 10 to shoot. Picked up by Makai Williams, 5 to shoot. Off the screen, Robinson. Feed Armo trading, and one.
Terrific patience throughout that whole possession from Nevada. Never got rushed, even with the shot clock winding down. The finish, he'll be at the line when we come back. Dennis Evans runs the floor, is rewarded before the answer at the other end of the floor with Arma trading. We got a good one at the Thomas and Mack. Don't go anywhere.
Brackets are back. Play CBS Sports bracket games for a chance to win a trip to the 2027 Final Four. Get the CBS Sports app now to play.
This is the story of the one who doesn't just see a broken dock. He sees lost revenue, a late night, and work stalled to a halt. Thankfully, he has the experience to handle whatever comes his way and has Grainger on his side, offering access to technical product specialists and the scale to deliver fast, so he can keep his business in gear and always moving forward. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe? Are you innocent, faultless, above reproach? If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. But finding one, it's laborious, it's strenuous, it's stupefying. That's why you gotta call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. They know the legalese, the lingo, the jargon, and the argot. They'll even tell you how much money your case could be worth. $300,000, $2 million, $86,491, all sorts of numbers. Slip and falls, work accidents, car, truck, bus, motorcycle, motorbike, e-bike, tandem bike. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid, and I don't get paid. So I compel you, I implore you, I beseech you to pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-801-4581.
Welcome back to Vegas. Coach, how do you best generate offense consistently here in this first half?
Yeah, we rely on our guards to do a lot. Brian, Jaden, Mackay, to get in the lane. They do a good job on their coverages. They're forcing us to pass it out. Got to be able to make some threes, open up the lane.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
One made triple so far. But what have you seen? We're about midway through this first half.
Well, I think you're seeing two teams that are still feeling themselves out in quarterfinal action. Nevada has the advantage for having played here in this arena last night, but they're getting used to Grand Canyon's physicalness. But for GCU, Bryce Drew hit it on the head. They're getting dribble drive actions and opportunities, but they're not taking advantage, knocking down threes. 1 of 5 to start.
Armo trading and 72% shooter converts. Foul to Evans before the break, his first. He's gone to the bench. Demerel is among the subs back for Grand Canyon. Nevada's Peyton Wright getting his first minutes, wearing 17 in blue. Demerel, upward feed to Henley. Able to get by Chuck Bailey the third. Rejection on help, but a foul.
That's a classic case with Bailey there. You're a good defender, probably the best perimeter defender on Nevada's roster. You're doing your early job, making life difficult for Jaden Henley, but it's that second or third time where you crowd up into the space that you just get beat, and then you overreact and foul on the drive.
Henley has been a mainstay, getting double-digit scores. He's also quite a shot taker. Make sure to tune in 2026 Reese's College All-Star Game, April 3rd, live 3:30 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network. And Henley does a lot of volume. Second in the Mountain West in field goal attempts, third in makes. He's top 2 in free throw takes and makes. And he has been the funnel for their offense. Nevada hasn't had true traction just yet. Bailey shined off the pine the last time these teams met up. Rollison corner, quick load White. Misses, Armo trading kick right back to his shooter. Long 2 is true, Bailey.
Second chance opportunities allow Nevada to finally get one to go. They're staying with what they do offensively. They're not a heavy set-oriented team. They're more read and react, offensive motion.
Stromer for 3, misses. This is shaping up so far, game a lot like the first matchup this year.
Yeah, very much so. Lowest scoring game. Both teams shot under 40% from the field that night. Came down to 3 free throws to force overtime.
Oh, what a follow by Armo trading.
That's what happens with dribble penetration. Put the defense in rotation. If you miss a box out, it opens up the front of the rim. Armo trading takes advantage.
2.2. Henley, elbow J, miss. And a foul. Demerel bumped on that spin.
Rollison gets the dribble penetration here. And because Demerel has to close it off, Armo trading has a front line to the front of the rim.
Armo trading called for the foul on this last play. Demerel at 7-1 shoots 75% of the line. Misses on that front end. You don't see many guys that big, that strong at the stripe.
He's got good touch around the rim. He can finish with either hand, and as you mentioned, he's a more than capable free throw shooter. Had some adjustments to make. Bryce Drew told me earlier this year in regards to the European style of play versus coming here to the States. It's a lot more physical here in the States, but they really like his progress throughout the year.
Also thought that he had changed his body quite a bit. Gave a lot of credit to the strength and conditioning staff at Grand Canyon as part of a giant change. Double-digit new players for Grand Canyon, 4 new coaches, a new athletic trainer, and a new conference.
It's the world of college athletics now. Can you adjust on the fly and still be successful?
Elijah Price gets hacked in the act. Well, these are the two greatest artists in the league by volume in getting to the line, and they've both been there already today.
So Nevada nearly 20 made free throws per game. GCU right at just under 17, so they put a ton of foul pressure on you.
Price, the top individual in takes and makes at the line, 1 of 2 so far today. Nice foul to Demerel. And the free throw of Kleiner. Bryce Drew's team has been hot in conference tournaments, winning 9 straight conference tournament games going back to the WAC times. They've won 3 straight conference postseason tournaments. Another miss, and he gets the rebound off a tip, goes to the rim off the up fake, feeds the Connor White, dumps it home, over Demerel.
What a cut and finish there from Peyton White. Son of a coach. There's just some things that players whose dad were coaches understand. Timing, spacing are 2 of them.
More for 3. That's what Bryce Drew told Evan his Lopes needed.
Only the second made 3 here. He's a guy that can get it going.
Bailey had a window to Weems. Bailey drives. Baseline J was altered en route. Here comes Enlund. Driving end line. Wraparound corner. Extra pass. Extra. 3 more. Yes! The prettiest passing of the game for Grand Canyon.
I love that. Extra pass to the open shooter.
I think we need some free gum. 6-0 run for Grand Canyon. Comer coughs it up. Henley steaming sideline. Moore wants it corner, stripped out of bounds. We're going to time out of the floor.
Action has picked up here over the last few minutes. Back-to-back threes from Nevada. That time off terrific ball movement. He likes it. This crowd likes it. Don't go anywhere.
Our goal for our kids has always been, whatever you do, do it to the best of your ability.
Can't play a perfect game, but what you can control is my energy, my effort, my intensity.
I miss those moments in the car, because it is quality time. We couldn't recreate how things unfolded.
When it's down to one play, you want AZ Fudd to get the ball.
You thought you knew what you needed until you found what you wanted. Bring it home with Floor & Decor.
Southwest boarding begins now.
Oh no, Group Z.
I thought you checked us in last night.
Well, I was a minute late.
I can't have a middle seat. Just hurry up. We gotta sit together. No, move it faster. It's pandemonium.
Act natural. Is this seat taken? You gotta ask him.
I am not sitting in a middle seat. Get out of the way. Let's go. Hi. Hi. Chocolate fundraiser.
With the Chase mobile app, things move a little more smoothly. Deposit checks easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Back in the Thomas and Mack, Coach, after that run, what's the right message to the guys in this huddle?
Yeah, we just got to settle down offensively. I mean, they're a very good defensive team, and
we've just got to get our shots. I think so. We've been a little bit sloppy there. And defensively, it's been a transition. We did a really good job in game one on them, and they're getting out in transition and hurting us a little bit.
Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, Evan. And Steve Alford trying to find better looks for his team. One of the stats he always has looked at goes back to the Bobby Knight sphere of influence. You can see that in the motion. Assist to turnover is one of the first things he looks at in the box score. It's not the prettiest right now for Nevada.
No, they've got 6 turnovers on the season. They average under 10. You know, but for the most part, they play a 2-ball handler attack. So I would expect them with concerted message at that timeout to begin to clean that area up.
Grand Canyon has the only 3 3-point makes in the game with +4 in points at the line. Dump to Devereaux. Double collapses. He fights through it and gets fouled and rattles free.
That is a heck of a post up there from Devereaux. Did his work early, sealed the defender way inside the restricted circle. Couldn't catch it clean, but he had one thought on his mind, and that was attack the rim.
Well, the Price is first. Price is a young man who can be foul prone. Yes, he gets a lot of blocks and steals. We asked Steve Alford, how do you balance that? What's your message to him? And he said it's pretty simple. He tells Elijah regularly, do your work early so that the fouls don't come.
That comes on both ends of the floor. We touched on it with Devereaux on that deep seal as a post. You do your work early, you create offensive opportunities. Defensively, if you're anticipating things, you can take yourself out of foul positions.
This is the biggest margin the game has seen. It's 8 unanswered for Grand Canyon. Von Weems into heavy traffic, draws a foul.
Weems is a player that has really started to play well down the stretch of the Mountain West. Young man from Federal Way, Washington. Spent 2 years at North Idaho College in Coeur d'Alene, where he was second leading scorer in the junior college ranks.
I can see the twinkle in your eye when you talk about the Pacific Northwest.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't realize that Teresa Kurtz from the Mountain West office shares the same hometown as you.
I didn't know that either. Interesting.
Apparently she was a manager at her alma mater high school's basketball team and saw you playing back in the day.
Yeah, Vancouver, Washington, just across the Columbia River from Portland.
A couple of points at the line for Nevada. Here comes Grand Canyon. Year one of the Mountain West for the Lopes. Nevada, longtime mainstay. Williams for 3. Rainbow.
Camper lost track of Makai Williams. Just needed a sliver of an opening to let that fly. Grand Canyon playing with a lot of confidence now.
Camper is Nevada's top scorer. He has taken 2 shots. He has 2 points. Price driving on Devereaux. That was altered by his length. Shin and spin, low ball. Makai Williams kick. Owusu Anane in and out. Here comes Camper. He's been eerily quiet. Price, he feels the double. Kick to Camper, off the up fake, Estrada side, got it.
He needed that one, but great patience on the catch. Makai Williams doubles down on the recovery, flies by. Patience in the knockdown 3 from Camper.
First made triple for the Wolfpack. Dangerous lob, tipped and taken away. The push forward, tipped and stolen back. Henley, Euro, foul. He drove on Price and tried to hold position outside the restricted area. That would be his second.
That is Jaden Henley to a T here. Terrific recognition from Grand Canyon to force the turnover, but this is where he's best. Get out in transition, create enough of contact where you can still get a shot opportunity up, but you put the referee in a position where there's a call that should be made.
Do you leave Price in with 2 fouls?
I think you have to for another minute or so. See if you can't maybe get to this 4-minute media timeout, make a mini run of your own, get it within single digits going into half.
Nevada makes a sub. It'll be Armo trading coming in. Price out for now. But do you think he's a critical part of their competitiveness?
Yeah, the fact is that you want to keep this game within striking distance going into the half. I would not be surprised if maybe down the stretch it's an offensive-defensive substitution alongside Armor Trading, because Armor Trading doesn't have the offensive firepower that Price does.
Henley joins 2 teammates. 3 Lopes have 7 points apiece. No Wolfpack player more than 5. Comer misses. Tough shot.
That's what GCU wants to do. Force you into contested 2s.
Oh, coast to coast, and Henley draws the foul, tumbling on the deck.
Let's go. Let's go.
Well, these are some of the national stories that have halted long droughts. Queens in the A-Sun transitioning in North Carolina to Division I, first ever tournament ticket punched. Idaho, first big dance since 1990. Tennessee State since 94. Hofstra was one of many that woulda, coulda had a shot in the COVID year, but some conference champions were crowned before the NCAA tournament did not happen.
I'll stay on that Northwest trend for you. Idaho, big time. Alex Pribble, tremendous job there. Nolan Smith, year 1 at Tennessee State. That's a heck of an accomplishment. Don't go anywhere. Grand Canyon starting to fire on all cylinders.
Thinking of updating my kitchen? Yeah. Yes. This year, we are finally updating our kitchen. Doing subway tile and an ivory or eggshell. Cream, maybe bone. Don't get me started on quartz. Big island. You ever heard of a waterfall counter?
For everyone who talks about doing that thing,
And over there,
but never does that thing,
sweet little breakfast nook.
Chase has financial guidance.
See how you can start saving to make this happen.
Really?
Really?
Really.
At home or in person.
You could also check out a Chase Money Skills workshop.
That's guidance from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Grand Canyon cruising for now against Nevada. We invite you to catch more conference tournament action tomorrow. The MAC semis get underway. Starts at 5 Eastern. UMass shocked Miami, Ohio. Will take on Toledo. Bracket week continues right here on CBS Sports Network.
I know a lot of people are going to say, don't put Miami of Ohio in the tournament. They didn't win their conference tournament. I'll call you out on that. They deserve to be in the tournament with the regular season that they had.
Among the 1 seeds that have gone down, Liberty lost as well in Conference USA. Akron has been a power in the MAC, particularly in recent years. And a whistle and foul. By the way, the foul before the break went on Armo Trading as his second. So some personal foul concerns have piled up a bit. And this will go on Henley, so he's got 2. So Grand Canyon's Jaden Henley, their top scorer, is 2. He goes to the bench. Meanwhile, Elijah Price, the second leading scorer for Nevada, and Joel Armo Trading each have 2 for the Wolfpack.
It's important for GCU because Henley was starting to get really comfortable, 9 points, but doing what he does best. Get out in transition, find opportunities to get himself to the free throw line.
Camper's first trip to the stripe as a result. First team all-league guard. He's got 6 to lead Nevada. Make it 7. Middle schoolers everywhere rejoice.
Let's not start that trend again.
Ryan Moore Jr. Henley on the bench under 5. Snaps to Williams. Quick close by Rollison. Williams down the heart of the lane. Great lead for Evans. Wow!
Terrific pass. Evans, the recipient, once again, just has to jump over a phone book to finish that one.
To the table, Chuck Bailey III ready to sub. Camper feeling it, heating up.
He does such a good job moving without the basketball. That time comes across the baseline, gets a screen, gets his feet set.
First Wolfpack man, first man of the game period at double figures. Kai Williams. Aruso Anane, point blank. Will Price returned before the break. Went to the bench with 2 fouls at the 5:28 mark. Jumper off the spin. Contested hit. Wow, he is really good.
What a shot. I mean, that was great defense from GCU. Trailing him on the pick and roll, taking away the catch and shoot, and then walling up on the termination of the dribble. That's just better offense.
Evans, free throw line jumper, rattles away. Nearly ripped it back, but he'll be called for a foul. That'll be his second.
Well, those are the fouls that you gotta stay away from when you get limited minutes and opportunities. But Grand Canyon, the dribble penetration from Makai Williams attracts the defense. Dennis Evans Jr. just has to finish it off, but Corey Camper Jr., you're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.
Chase something. More than just a flag. Chase rings. Chase gold.
Nah, chase me.
NFL flag. Chase something.
Join us for Jersey Mike's annual Day of Giving on March 25th, where 100% of sales will be donated to support Special Olympics athletes.
It's a great way to support the athletes. Like me. It's basically like doing this. Or this.
And all you have to do is get a sub, like this guy. Join us March 25th for Jersey Mike's annual Day of Giving.
Okay.
Be a sub above.
Smile so big that your eyes can go back in your face. Laugh so loud you can hear it from outer space. I really wanna talk to you. I really wanna know you. I really wanna talk to you. I really wanna. Really wanna talk to you. I really wanna.
Doesn't matter the level you're playing at or who you are. At the end of the day, the lowest score wins.
Ultimate scoring power is having something that can give you an edge everywhere.
Playing a Pro V1 gives me a sense of unshakable confidence.
Pro V1 just makes me the best player that I can possibly be.
I have 100% belief, I have 100% commitment and trust.
I can tell you with a blindfold on, when I strike it, I just know what it's going to do.
That's the power of Pro V1.
Why wait for the summer when the world's superstars are already battling? 16 iconic clubs, 0 second chances, and every match is a main event. The UEFA Champions League knockout phase. Stream every match live on Paramount+.
Welcome back to the Thomas & Mack in Las Vegas. Grand Canyon gets production from multiple guys. Caleb Shaw turns the corner before you see everyone getting in on the action. Extra pass leading to the open three.
Sharing, caring for the Lopes. Now, Bryce Drew said he needed some threes to liberate the rest of the offense. We've also seen, though, a little spurt from Nevada starting to respond better, championed by Corey Camper Jr., who's had some of his best looks.
Well, he's a player that can score in multiple ways, but he can be energized with one easy opportunity. That's clearly got him going tonight. 12 points, 4 or 5 from the field.
Front end of the 1-and-1, good for Lowry, a 70% shooter. Foul before the break went on Dennis Evans. He has 2. Jaden Henley has 2 for Grand Canyon. Both Elijah Price and Joel Armo trading at 2 apiece for Nevada.
With the fact that Nevada's now cut this to 6, I wouldn't expect to see Elijah Price back in here in this first half. Too valuable is he to their attack to allow him to pick up his third.
Sean Stromer getting time to shine. Makai Williams. Up fake, not duping his defender, ready to shoot. Oh, able to slide in underneath. Nevada's got the miss. Camper wants it in transition. He's lurking in that right corner.
They do a great job setting off-ball screens for him. Look for him to get an opportunity here.
Poked out of bounds by Makai Williams.
And that's a lost art in college basketball. The pick and roll has become so prevalent that you don't see a lot of players understanding how to move without the basketball. Corey Camper does a really good job setting his defender up, getting into correct spacing, or using screens.
Arnold trading play with 2 fouls over Demerel. Camper trying to clean it up, stepped out of bounds. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Adam Zucker, rest of the crew will get you caught up on the latest and greatest news, scores, and highlights in college basketball. Head your way on AT&T at the half. Well, each team has a timeout used. Grand Canyon's came due to an unsuccessful challenge. So no use it or lose it on either side. Uso leaving to Williams. Nice.
Demerel doesn't get an assist, but he could if they gave you assists for screens. That time cleared out space, allowing Williams to get all the way to the front of the rim.
You can feel at times as their guards probe, they're almost using his space like a gravitational force. Rollison hits.
Oh, that's a great point, John. He does a good job of ducking in to create post-up opportunities, but then also occupying the defense when there's dribble opportunities for his guards.
Shaw surveys. Stroller on the cut. Battling Bailey. Jump give, 10 to shoot. Williams establishes dribble, 7 to shoot. Owusu Onane wanted it, put up, and then what a tip. Stromer right there.
Opportunistic on the offensive glass is Dusty Stromer there. Wasn't blocked out, find a way to create extra opportunities in March.
Bryce Drew clapping. Heavily invested, a pensive watch by Steve Alford, arms crossed. Rollison, a prayer, answered.
He tried to just draw a foul and then threw it up at the front of the rim. Ended up hitting back iron, dropped through. He was the hero in the game in Nevada earlier this year, made 3 free throws to send it to overtime.
Back to the action a second ago. So kept Bryce Drew up for months since. Williams, 9 to shoot. Shaw, 5 to shoot. A coach's son, 2 to shoot. Puts it up. Banker miss. Save on the back.
Bryce Drew asking for a foul on that possession, but it's hard to bail out an offensive player when they take about 12 dribbles and don't get anywhere.
3-second differential, are you holding?
I think you just play it out normal. First good shot that presents itself.
Rollison driving. Offensive foul! 11 seconds, Lopes ball.
I think that foul was predicated on the previous possession where Rollison tried to draw the foul, didn't get the call, but made the shot. That off arm clearly gives a little shove before he runs right into the chest of Demerel.
And that's his second. He's the third Wolfpack man with multiple fouls. So Jariah Coleman gets his first minute, 7'1" center for Nevada defensively. Moore stripped by Comer, 2 seconds. Cannot settle the ball. But Grand Canyon doesn't get an add-on bucket. It's a half dozen in the break.
Well, if you're in Nevada, you've got to feel good with where you're at. You've got a couple of your main guys with 2 fouls, Price in particular. You haven't been great on the offensive end of the floor. Camper's kept you in it for the most part, but the fact that Grand Canyon hit some threes to extend the lead, you got right back into it.
Let's go to Evan.
Jaden, you got a view of the bench there, the finishing of that first half. What opened things up offensively for you guys?
I think we just started to get stops when we got out in transition. I think that's when we're best, when we're guarding and making them take tough shots.
What's going to be required to finish this game off in advance?
Stay consistent, continue to do what we're doing, guarding the ball for full shot clock. To be honest, they're keeping the ball, keep it moving. Of course, they'll keep shooting tough twos and tough threes, and I think we'll be just fine.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
He had 9 in an efficient 12 minutes. We are at halftime. Your score, Grand Canyon 40, Nevada 34. After these messages, it'll be AT&T at the half. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network. The Lopes by 6.
With the Mountain West app, it's your game, your way. Designed for superfans like you, so that you'll never miss a play. We've got you covered with free access to thousands of Mountain West games, from your phone to the big screen. Stream live games, watch highlights, and unlock exclusive content anytime. Download the app today.
We all come to the University of Nevada, Reno with a goal, a vision, a drive to do more, to go further. Here, we don't just learn, we innovate, working with award-winning faculty to solve real-world challenges. Learning goes beyond the classroom, on the field, in the studio, and out in the real world. We gain hands-on experience before we even graduate. With over 500 academic programs and one of the nation's best values, the University of Nevada, Reno is where ambition meets opportunity.
This is the story of the one. The one knows the unexpected can put everything on the line. But with a teammate like Grainger, she's confident that she will always win the day. Call, click, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're at the starting line for your next event, 4imprint has the right promotional gear, bottles, bags, hats, and tees, delivered on time to energize your customers and your team. Race now to 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance. Plus, stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the Deluxe Bundle. Get the faster motor for 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
This is AT&T at the half. Connecting changes everything.
All right, we are back inside our New York studios here for AT&T at the half. Adam Zucker alongside Emeka Okafor, Pete Gillen, John Rothstein.
Giddy up.
You wish you'd just put the horse in the stable on that one.
No, they'll turn on you. You got to watch.
Oh, yeah. You have him as your emergency contact.
Thanks, Adam. I back you up. You throw me under the bus. Then you drive the bus back.
Grand Canyon on top, 40-34 on Nevada. This was an 11-point lead, though, at one point in Mecca. What Grand Canyon do so well first half?
Yeah, to this game right here so far, good battle of the bid stealers. That's it. Oh, it spreads. The game was stuck in mud a little bit, and the first team to find their footing was Grand Canyon. They got us from a bunch of different places. Mekhi Williams contributed, Brian Moore, Jaden Henley. They have 9, 7, and 9. Really leading the charge, shooting well from the three, getting to the line. But Nevada is not laying down easy. They have their eyes on the prize, trying to get that bid, and they know it's up for grabs. So this second half, I expect them to put a full front and try to nab that thing.
Yeah, a little momentum going into the break, but only 3 turnovers for Grand Canyon so far in our game. First quarterfinal, top seed Utah State already bound for the NCAA tournament, but looking to vanquish their struggles against UNLV, having gone 0-2 against the Rebels this season, including by 27 points on the same court 9 days ago. So let's check out the highlights from that one. And Mason Falslev, Pete, with a monster day at 17 in the first half, 24 in the game.
Tremendous. The leading scorer now for Utah State. There he is. MJ Collins, open look, knocks it down. Aggies lead 63-49. A nice steal by Collins again. Up and away. Throw it home. Forget about it. His defense makes his offense even better.
Yeah, looking to finish their time in the Mountain West on top, and Utah State advances to play the winner of our current game. So later tonight, New Mexico takes on San Jose State, and you also have Colorado State against San Diego State. As for the Lobos, though, John, they're among the first 4 out, according to our CBS Sports bracketology. Many teams in similar spots around the country, though, have been dropping.
No question, Adam, but you're playing an opponent right now that is vastly not the caliber that you are or your peers are in San Jose State. New Mexico is in a can't-lose scenario tonight.
So they got to keep winning.
Got to keep winning.
at least get to the title game on Saturday.
All right, there's going to be a new member of the at-large pool here, though, because Miami, Ohio lost for the first time this season. It came against UMass, and UMass on top. Final minute here, John. And Miami, Ohio's been in these spots before.
No doubt. Peter Suter ties it in. Daniel Hankins Sanford, strong post move, better finish. Miami down 2. Then going to try and get something going here on the last possession. But an ill-advised pass right there. UMass stuns the Redhawks in Cleveland. We are going to have a 2-bid league out of the MAC, and it could be Akron.
And that's assuming Miami, Ohio is an at-large team, as many of us do. So it opens the door for Akron, perhaps, the 2 seed in the MAC, to grab that automatic bid. The Zips held off a late push by Buffalo, winning by 3. Tavari Johnson with a game-high 25 in the win there. Auburn at this point was rooting for Miami, Ohio to win the MAC, and they could take care of their own problems against Tennessee. They were up by 10 at one point on Mecca, but here come the Vols.
Amen with the 3. Vols down 2, 51-49. Jalen Carey gets his own rebound. Little Moses Malone action, puts it back in. Tennessee up 54-51. And Amen again from downtown, sealing the deal. Vols win 72-62.
They exploded on them at one point, scored 20 straight. And so here you go. Compare them. They're not only just going to be compared to each other, but they are in the news today. Miami's loss dropped them 1 seed line, according to CBS Sports Bracketology, down to an 11. Auburn was our last team in. They're now among the first 4 out. No games left to potentially move up. What do you think here, John?
It will be historical if Auburn makes the NCAA tournament with 16 losses. Given the way the field looks right now, Miami is in the bracket as of today. But if you listen, Pete, the bid stealers are out there. If a team out of the Mountain West, if a team out of the Atlantic 10, if a Seton Hall out of the Big East were to procure an automatic bid out of those conference tournaments, the Redhawks could be sweating, and Wally could be hitting the tequila a little bit earlier in the go.
No question about it. Auburn, terrific team, great season. They lost 16 games. It would be the most ever if they get in a large. Ever's a long time.
Correct.
Moby Dick was a minnow then, a long time ago. All right. So Auburn's great. I love Auburn. But Miami, all right, 31-0 going into the tournament. You got to respect a team like that. All right, big teams wouldn't play them. But I think Miami deserves to be in. Auburn, hope to get in, but 16 losses. They're 7-11 in the conference. So it's great to be in a great conference. Yeah. You got to win a little more than 7 wins, 11 losses. Hope to get in Auburn, but Miami deserves it ahead of them.
Yeah, they did have a lot of non-conference games that were losses that would maybe they had like 4 or 5 of the type of games that some teams play one of. So
yeah, no, I have courage, okay, but
courage.
A lot of the Gladiators were courage before the Lions ate them. You know what I mean?
Russell Crowe?
I'm so glad we got to reunite this week. Hey, we're also going to speak with NCAA Senior Vice President of Basketball, Dan Gavitt, about all those results in our show coming up at 8:30 Eastern. Much more to come here, though, on AT&T at the Head.
You know, life would be easier if I could do everything from the logo.
Allow me to assist.
Pickles. It worked! Buckets. Now that's a tomato. Sheboygan.
The answer is Sheboygan.
They match. P-E-Z-O-L. Bottom row?
From the logo. State Farm with the assist.
Meet June.
Smells good. Oh, thanks. It's just a...
Her brand of comic relief keeps you wondering, is this a bit? Am I the bit?
Great job in there.
And how does she never miss? But wow, is she a certified animal when it comes to, well, taking care of animals. You need June. June needs a retirement plan. Work with Principal so we can help you help June with a retirement and benefits plan that's right for her. Let our expertise round out yours.
They say higher education is outdated, irrelevant. We say don't settle for the status quo.
At Grand Canyon University, we shatter it.
We lead. with a pioneering spirit in classrooms that are incubators for bold ideas.
You want opportunity. You want purpose. A chance to lead and serve in meaningful ways.
This is purpose-driven education. Take action. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
It's Bedlam tonight here in Boise.
The crowd is pumping at the pit. This place is electric.
Grand Canyon on top, 40-34. Both teams hitting 40% of their threes so far. Brian Moore with a couple of his own. He was the open man. We got a 6-point game right now. GCU on top. From the Big 12, it's not the score that matters here, although Iowa State looked impressive behind another great day from Joshua Jefferson and Tamin Lipsey. Christian Anderson left this game with about 8 minutes to go after slipping on that glass floor at the Big 12 tournament. Said he was fine, said it was a groin injury. We'll see how it is going forward for Texas Tech. So Nevada so far, Pete, has shot 48% in this game. They beat Grand Canyon shooting 33% earlier this year. What do you think here, second half?
I think it's going to be right down to the wire. Nevada was coming on really strong at the end of the half, but I think the defense by Grand Canyon is going to make a difference. I think that's going to be, terrific game. Nevada's coming on. They played this year. It was a 1 or 2 point game, so it's going to go right down to the end. Grand Canyon with the defense.
All right, and we still got 2 more games later on tonight. You ready for that? All right, second half coming up.
Thank you for watching AT&T at the Half.
Southwest boarding begins now.
Oh no. Group C.
I thought you checked us in last night.
Well, I was a minute late.
I can't have a middle seat. Just hurry up. We gotta sit together. No, move it faster. It's pandemonium.
Act natural. Is this seat taken? You gotta ask him.
I am not sitting in a middle seat. Get out of the way.
This is the story of the one who doesn't just see a broken dock, he sees work stalled to a halt. Thankfully, he has Grainger, offering the scale to deliver fast. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Things at work don't always work. But with Easy Cater, the food always does. Ugh, not again. Easy Cater is tech that won't let you down. Learn more at EasyCater.com.
Do you suffer in pain? Are you stiff, tense, or less active than before? Introducing the EasyWell Remedy Massage System that combines the incredible effects of vibrational therapy, targeted deep tissue shiatsu massage, plus soothing infrared heat. A triple fusion of therapeutic experiences. Full body vibrational therapy increases blood circulation and reduces inflammation. Look at these beads moving from the powerful vibrational motors.
It's like 1,000 little fingers just vibrating my body from head to toe.
Infrared heat penetrates deep to reduce pain, soothe, and relax.
Remedy gets in there and helps deal with the source of the pain, so you feel much better.
The Ultra Shiatsu pillow with 6 infrared heated nodes mimics a professional massage. Plus, it's detachable for deep relief anywhere you need it.
It's just something that you're gonna have to feel for yourself.
Experience the true remedy for your pain and stiffness. Call now.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. Tune in to Geico's new docuseries Miles That Matter, coming soon to Paramount Plus.
6-point game at the break. Grand Canyon's lead ballooned as large as 11. Nevada has not known an advantage yet. Welcome back courtside with Dan Dickow. I'm John Sadak. Evan Washburn with us in just a bit. What do you see in the first half?
Well, I think for Nevada, they're shooting 48% from the field. They've turned it over 8 times. They're only down 6. If they can clean up the turnovers, I think we've got a heck of a finish coming up here in Las Vegas.
Makai Williams certainly did his part for Grand Canyon.
He was really good in that first half. 9 points, 4 rebounds. He's creative with the dribble for scoring opportunities, whether it's create space or get to the rim. But he couples it with patience, allowing his bigs to get in position to score.
Yet again, a wide difference in points off turnovers.
Yeah, we saw it in the first game, and we were talking about it off camera. You see it again, 11 points off of turnovers versus 0 advantage Grand Canyon.
Moments ago, Evan with Corey Camper Jr. of Nevada.
Corey down 6 at half. How do you guys best grab control of this game?
Just getting out, getting stops. They getting a lot of easy buckets off our turnovers. So just taking care of the ball and getting back on defense and stopping their transition.
Yeah, you guys don't usually turn it over that much. What makes their defense so tough?
Yeah, they out physical us. They came out, they played strong, and we just gotta hit back.
Corey, thanks.
Thank you.
Their leading scorer on the year, a first-team all-league man, 12 points on an efficient 4 of 5 shooting, but he was without a major running mate. Elijah Price sat for the last 5.5 minutes of the first with 2 fouls.
Yeah, Price is a guy who can really impact the game. 10 double-doubles on the season. Find ways to get Camper and Price going together would be a good sign for Nevada.
Right there. It's the screen by Price that springs Camper. Damn, that might have been the best offense they've run all game.
It was the most fluid offense they've run. Price, a great screen on the flare to free up Camper.
Only a 3-point game. Grand Canyon has not known a deficit, but it's a 1-possession affair. Henley, the top long 2-1 through. Great tie-up, loose ball squirts to Nevada. Comer wants it weak side. He's begging for the ball from Camper. Snap to him. Off the jab step, he drives, lefty, makes it.
Just like that, we've got a 1-point game. I know it's 2 possessions in, but the sense of urgency, you can feel it from Nevada. Much crisper and cleaner on the offensive end of the floor.
And a bump as Moore gets hit. Camper locked and loaded.
Another look at that initial play coming out of the halftime break. Flare screen from Elijah Price, freeing up Camper before Comer keeps it in his left the entire time.
Comer just slapped with that last foul, his first. He's on ball here against Brian Moore. Brian Moore Jr., a strong shooter. His hamstring had him sidelined against Nevada in the overtime loss. Oh, the clean strip by Comer. Nevada seeking the lead. The first advantage of the game from the Wolfpack.
7-0 run in the first minute and a half or so. Bryce Drew wants to talk things over.
Timeout, Grand Canyon. Nevada finally knows the lead. The Lopes trail for the first time in the Mountain West Tournament. We need a tight one to face the one in Utah State.
Thinking of updating my kitchen? Yeah? Yes. This year, we are finally updating our kitchen. Doing subway tile and an ivory or eggshell. Cream, maybe bone. Don't get me started on quartz. Big island. You ever heard of a waterfall
For everyone who talks about doing that thing,
And over there,
but never does that thing,
sweet little breakfast nook.
Chase has financial guidance.
See how you can start saving to make this happen.
Really?
Really?
Really.
At home or in person.
You could also check out a Chase Money Skills workshop.
That's guidance from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Take me to the river. Drop me in the water.
With the all-new Jeep Cherokee Hybrid's 500-plus miles on a single tank, 30% more cargo space, and legendary 4x4 capability, you have everything you need to get to the river safely.
Bye, Billy.
He's doing it. But after that, you're on your own. Stay safe with 140 safety features in the all-new Jeep Cherokee Hybrid.
Introducing new Titleist Pro V1X Left Dash. More dash speed.
Wow, it gets out there fast.
Proven dash spin.
It holds, and that's exactly what I'm looking for.
And lower dash flight. Holy smokes. It's everything a dash player loves and more.
Ascending to the top takes focus, dedication, commitment. One thing above all else. What you put first defines you. At Werner, we put safety above all. No shortcuts, no compromises. Because we believe that what you stand on should match what you stand for. Werner, proud to support and protect those who continue to reach higher. The official ladder of NCAA March Madness.
Nevada's first lead of the game by a skinny point. Time now for Every Step Matters, brought to you by Werner Ladder. Corey Camper Jr. getting it done.
He is getting it done, and it makes it difficult if you're a defender, if you're going against a three-level scorer. Gets all the way to the rim, makes a tough bucket off the dribble in the mid-range, and then flies off that baseline, staggered double screen, catch and shoot to the knockdown three.
Straddling halftime, including the last bucket before the break. 9 unanswered for Nevada to take this narrow lead. How does Grand Canyon respond out of its called timeout?
They're trying to go into Demerol.
More miss, and then fighting for the loose ball, a foul. There's Demerol tied up with Price, and it looks like that's going to be Price with 3.
And I think it was more so of trying to pick up that third foul on Price as opposed to really trying to give Demerol a scoring opportunity. Again, as a big, if you do a good job doing your work early, trying to carve out space, you put foul pressure on, sometimes that's as valuable as a score.
So Price to the bench with 2. Armo Trading, who just subbed, nearly saved that ball. But it's going to be Grand Canyon ball. And Armo Trading gave some good minutes late stage of the first.
Really did. 5 points, a couple of rebounds. Not necessarily a scorer. Started 10 games this year, has had some injury issues as well, where he's missed a number of games, but another big body Nevada can throw at Demerol.
Here's Demerol against Armo Trading. Help Lang and Wade. Ball on the deck. Trying to playground it. Granted the lane giveaway. Nevada took the lead on the drive by Weems, who leaves for Comer. Movement off the ball. Comer hang and miss. Camper snatches the rebound. Establishes dribble, pummeled and fouled. That'll be Owusu Anane with his second.
Camper has lifted the Wolfpack nearly all on his own. That time gets the poke away that creates the loose ball scramble. On the other end of the floor, extra possession on the offensive end of the floor. Nevada's got to find someone else to step up and make some plays as well.
Camper has been brutally efficient. A miss, but he's fouled. He'll go to the line. That's going to be Moore with his second. So Camper, an efficient free throw shooter at 79%. He had a back injury in December that slowed him some. Nevada had a series of smaller injuries, didn't allow them to be whole for long stretches.
And they were injuries where a guy would miss 2 games, 3 games here and there. So they really haven't had the full complement of their roster for much of this season.
Camper struggled in the first matchup between these squads. Only 8 points in 39 minutes. He missed 10 of his 13 from the field, but did help with rebounding and assists. Today, he's been the premier scorer in the game so far. Game high 16. No Lopez, more than 9.
And this coming off the first matchup where Camper really struggled. 30 of 13 from the field, where he only finished with 8 points.
Henley's been quiet. He had 2 with 5 to go in the first. Williams on high, misses. Demerol has it knocked away by Comer. Clean take. Comer sees a seam, goes right to the rim, rejected in transition. Makai Williams. Henley other end, shields, misses, foul. Bodies flying.
I thought Henley may have gotten away with a carry in transition. Picked it up from his left hip with the left hand, moved it all the way to the far right side. But we've got a couple of defensive efforts from both of these teams that are not quitting on plays. A great block there for Brian Moore Jr.
Foul to Weems, his second. Now, Henley last year, this was his home floor. He played for UNLV, and he was second best in the Mountain West at 86% at the line. He's still a solid, but not nearly as spectacular, 76% this year.
The nature of college basketball, though, at his fourth school now, Minnesota, DePaul, UNLV, and now Grand Canyon. I know Bryce Drew's glad to have him.
Williams, multiple jab steps. Up fake, up fake. More. Deep three! Makai Williams in and out. Pinballs. Saved by Nevada. Take it away, Henley. Lost the jam in transition and a whistle. Did he get tripped up as he tried to explode to the rim?
Well, it looked like Lowry was giving him the free lane to the basket, but yeah, they may have knocked feet there as Henley went to take off.
Steve McJunkins, a referee, showed with his foot. There was a sweep the leg. So right below view there, because he didn't get a clean, true explosion.
And I know the officials are going to take a look to maybe upgrade it to an F1. I don't think that should be anything other than a common foul. He didn't try to do anything malicious. He actually slowed down to let the basket occur.
The common foul on the floor is under review for a potential flagrant foul.
So Nevada with the lead. Grand Canyon has not hit a field goal since the 1:23 mark in the first half.
I mean, he simply stopped to give up the 2 points. His momentum carried through just enough to clip that left leg of Henley just enough.
And of course it can be scary once you're airborne.
Yeah.
When you fall short like that, it's on that fall that things can happen. But the whole spirit of a flagrant foul, that's not a flagrant foul.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. Officials have a difficult decision to make in this situation because I think it looked worse than it really was.
Now, we saw a flagrant, we saw multiple double technicals in game one today. This has actually been kind of tame by comparison.
It's been physical, but it's been a clean game.
And Nevada's probably played its best basketball straddling the last 7-8 minutes of game time going back to the second. And that said, they're only up 1 point. When could the Grand Canyon run come? Here comes the call. Nate Harris.
After reviewing the play has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 personal foul for excessive and unnecessary contact on a player in a vulnerable position. Grand Canyon number 10 is going to shoot 2 free throws, and Grand Canyon will get the ball out of bounds with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
So we're told by definition because it's a vulnerable player and the contact came from behind.
And that is the letter of the law as the rule is stated. That is still, if you're a Nevada fan, a tough pill to swallow because it was incidental and there wasn't much contact, but in the vulnerable position, yes, it can be upgraded and was.
So Henley has had most of his scoring accomplished at the line, misses the front end. He does have a team high 10. Misses again. That was a chance to take the lead back. We'll get a baseline trigger now. And Bryce Drew in year 1 of the Mountain West. His Lopes entered this tournament having won 5 of 7. Demerol. Henley misses. Demerol was boxed, still able to poke it. to Grand Canyon. Aggressive take, old school reverse, and a foul. An explosive spin by Makai Williams.
What the GCU backcourt lacks in length and size, they more than make up for it with their athleticism and quickness.
Foul to Lowry, his second. So now it's Williams at the line. He converts. And Makai Williams committed the foul on the last play of regulation on Tyler Rollison to the act of a three. That opened the door. 3 free throw makes. It came with 1 second left. And then Nevada forced overtime and took the game to Reno. Tied at 42. Still the relative infancy of the second half. 3-ball Camper, air ball. What a box weak side, and Grand Canyon's got it. They haven't hit a field goal in over 5 minutes. Williams on the spin, leads, and a hammer hit on Moore for a foul. We'll step aside. The ugly offense has returned. The intensity, though, is peaking, and it's all even.
Meet June. Her brand of humor makes you wonder what's a bit and what's not. But she's a certified animal when it comes to animals. You need June. June needs a retirement plan. Work with Principals so we can help you with a plan that's right for June. Let our expertise round out yours.
A century ago, our founders made a promise to always take care of their own. That promise is still at the heart of everything we do, and why our members know we'll do what's right. Because at USAA, we take care of our own.
The future of home shopping is here, and it's only on Homes.com. Introducing Homes AI.
Welcome back. How can I help?
Homes, please find me a 3-bedroom home in Atlanta. I love to cook. Show me the kitchens. Narrow it down to homes walkable to a Whole Foods. Please take me on a virtual tour of the second listing. What's unique about this home?
What stands out is the open floor plan with 10-foot ceilings, vintage wide plank French oak floors, and a gourmet kitchen with Viking appliance.
I don't like this decor. Please remove the furniture. Show me that kitchen. What are the countertops?
The countertops are white quartz. They're stylish, durable, and give the kitchen a modern feel.
I love it. Connect me with the listing agent. Ready to see what you will find with Homes AI?
First beer of the wedding.
Is there enough for everyone?
Oh, right there. Oh!
I got this.
You thought you knew what you needed until you found what you wanted. Bring it home with Floor & Decor.
9 Eastern, join us here, CBS Sports Network. We'll be right back in Vegas. Colorado State, San Diego State, third Mountain West quarterfinal. Find out which team will move on. New Mexico will tangle with San Jose State. Of course, the victor of this affair, Grand Canyon and Nevada, will duel with the best in the Mountain West, the 1 seed in Utah State. A foul before the break on Steve Alford's Joel Armo trading, his third, team's 6th. They did not lead the entire opening stanza. Grand Canyon has not hit a field goal since the break, but Grand Canyon will have bonus the rest of the way. We got 16 minutes to go in regulation.
You like the pace that they started off on the offensive end of the floor for Nevada, but defensively, they played with that same pace, but not as much control, resulting in those fouls, getting GCU already into the bonus.
Grand Canyon has missed 5 of 7 at the line since halftime. Another miss. So they've gone forever without a field goal. They're missing a ton of shots at the stripe, and yet it's tied at 42. Who can hit buckets? Weaves on the spin. Contested roll away. Demerel has it. Off the crossover. The first bucket since the break. Rattles in for Moore. concern for the Wolfpack. 2 men with 3 apiece. Price, the most impactful man in foul concern. Camper behind the Armo trading screen. Double, trying to fight through. Lowry thought about loading up. Drives, leads, got it 2 at the time.
Credit Camper, though, on that possession. They're trying to find ways to get him open off double screens along that baseline. Had a sliver of an opening to take a shot, didn't force it. Skipped it to Lowry, who eventually is able to finish.
Henley, bounce to Williams. Aggressive drive, slips, lost the ball. Sent it the other way, Nevada possession.
Take another look at that skip from Lowry. Not a good three-point shooter. Understands strengths and weaknesses. Attack, try to get in closer. Too many times you'll see players with the shot clock winding down, even if they're not a good three-point shooter, will feel rushed and will launch one that has no chance.
Caleb Lowry, caught at by Owusu Anane. Camper darting down the lane, right-handed flush. On the Nevada bench, love it.
Set up by Camper off of the usage of the screen. Terrific job making his defender trail, and then catches it knowing there's no opening for a shot, so he explodes through the catch all the way to the rim.
Well, the foul went to Shaw's his first, but Demerol was right there at the rim.
So good, we got to keep taking looks at it. What a finish.
And he follows the poster with a free throw. 3-point buffer for the Wolfpack. Hand signals from all the Nevada coaches for their defense.
Nevada now to a zone. They don't play a lot of zone. But with foul trouble, you got to take a look at what might give you a better opportunity to sneak a few minutes of rest.
They go right to the middle. Owusu Anane gets the bucket. Can feel Nevada taking a bit of a breath here. Rollerson. This has come with Price on the bench since the 18-21 mark with his third, after he sat the last 5.5 of the first. Camper. That was probably tipped. Owusu Anane has it. Henley. Moore with the chin high pound. Behind the back. Kick wing. Owusu Anane, defender down, rejected, count.
Nevada's assistant coaches quickly looking at a tablet to see if they should challenge. You have until the ball gets put back into play to motion that you want to challenge. I don't think they should challenge here, but we've seen a number of challenges go either way throughout the season. A good call by the official.
Grand Canyon rotating bigs. Demerol gets a breather. 7-2 Dennis Evans is in. A 1-point game. The winner takes on the 1 seed Utah State in our first semifinal tomorrow. Lowry off the fake. Trying to wrap around. Somehow Armo trading, and he's fouled. It pinballed off of a lope right to him.
How that got through to Lowry, I will never know, but it doesn't matter if you're a Wolfpack fan. He's able to corral it, will be at the line, but swarming defense. Owusu Anane almost comes up with the steal.
Foul to Evans, his third, so now Armo trading, 72% free throw shooter on the year. He's made his lone try today. Converts. Shaw returns for Grand Canyon. Kai Williams is back in. Henley and Moore are both out. Is this to maximize real-time rest?
I would imagine they're trying to get to the next under 12-minute media timeout. Trying to find a way to get them an extra minute or two of rest to stay fresh down the stretch.
It looks like Armo trading will sub out. Sub at the table, lying in wait for Nevada. Trying to retake the lead. Got it. Let's go to Evan.
Yeah, speaking of rest, guys, talking to Bryce Drew yesterday, he made it clear to us the style in which they play defensively is going to have everyone exhausted over the course of this game. So they do rely on depth and timing up subbing so they can continue to play that style defensively for an entire game.
Appreciate that. And yeah, he had also said that's part of the influence on how they practiced with that extra time. Had the bye, had not played since Saturday. Intense but briefer action of practice. Off iron miss. Rolison up the floor. Jariah Coleman is back in. Backdoor look. Nearly saved, but tipped by Weems, sideline out of bounds.
Point guards taking care of the basketball has been an issue today for Nevada. Comer with 5 turnovers, that's now 2 on Rolison. Terminates his dribble in the key, pivots to create a space, but even if he delivered it to Weems, there wasn't much he was going to be able to do with it there.
Grand Canyon just 8 points since halftime. Price is at the table to sub for Nevada. Stromer, Leifers big at Evans. Double comes. Over the double, misses. Lowry. Now dead ball means immediate. Greg Neal calling out the offense. Off the block. Weems, reverse, he's fouled. We got a 1-point game. Who will face the 1 seed and the regular season champ? A battle of wills, trying to find some precious offense. Bracket week, presented by Kubota.
Everyone has free offers on the latest phones, but T-Mobile gives a lot more. T-Mobile family saved over $3,700 compared to the other big guys in the past 5 years. Our experience plans include amazing benefits like Netflix, free Dash Pass by DoorDash, and a bunch more. Oh yeah, and a 5-year price guarantee. So you keep saving. Save on a big scale. Switch to T-Mobile and we'll even pay off your old phone up to $800.
Introducing Mike's Hot Italian Sub from Jersey Mike's. Fresh ham, salami, and pepperoni chopped up by hand right on the grill. Forget about it. Then topped with a layer of melted provolone? Forget about it. And the regular is only $8.95? Forget about it. Wait a minute. Actually, remember about it. Because you gotta try it with our chopped pepper relish before it's gone. The all-new Mike's Hot Italian Sub for a limited time only at Jersey Mike's.
5K fun run.
Say hi to Patty, celebrated social worker,
Who's coming in second?
self-appointed social chair, potluck, kickball, last call.
Sign up for Goat Yoga.
You name it, she's on it.
Jim!
And you have 47 emails to prove it. But her capacity to care is unmatched. You need Patty. Patty needs a retirement plan. Work with Principal so we can help you help Patty with a retirement and benefits plan that's right for her.
Good night, guys.
Let our expertise round out yours.
Long before the playoffs, these athletes put in the miles, driven by the people who believed in them first. Geico presents a new docuseries, Miles That Matter, following players like A.Z. Fudd, Trey McKinney, and Nafisa Collier on their journey to the championship. Streaming March 16th on Paramount+. Well, the Aztecs are here. They'll get the first game in the second half of the quarterfinals underway, taking on reigning tournament champ in Colorado State. Probably Brian Dutcher's best offensive team as the head coach, but are they down a little bit defensively?
Well, defensively, they're still top 30 in the country efficiency, but yes, this is probably the best offensive team he's had since he's been a head coach. but the depth that they have has allowed them to overcome a few injuries, in particular to Magoon Guath.
They've been a perennial power in the Mountain West. Foul to Shaw before the break, his second. Weems gets 1 of 2, and we do see Elijah Price back out there his first minutes since the 18-21 mark when he picked up a third foul.
He's got to make sure he does his work early so he's not late in the rotation picking up his score.
And a foul underneath as Demerol tried to dunk. Bailey on help. That'll be his second. Henley is also back for Grand Canyon.
Demerol just creates such a big target on that roll. Sets a good screen, rolls right to the front of the rim, makes himself available.
Front end is a make. Grand Canyon had missed 6 of its first 8 at the line since halftime. It was Grand Canyon by 6 at the break. Nevada, a 16-9 lead since half. Rattles away, another miss. It's a lot of points lost by Grand Canyon at the line. So Nevada nurses a 1-point lead. Rollison. The flip onto the wing. Weems driving on Stromer. Banker and 1. That was a tough timing and angle to finish.
Behind the back, and then the attack to create contact and finish from Weems was spectacular. And if Nevada's going to ultimately prevail, they're going to need some big performances down the stretch from somebody other than Camper, because he has been the focus of this GCU defense, making life difficult after he got off to such a hot start in the first half and the first couple minutes of the second.
And 1 free throw. Foul was Stromer's first. He's out. Brian Moore is back. So we're seeing more of the core players for this Grand Canyon club. First year in the Mountain West. Largest lead for Nevada. Henley got it. And the new kids come back.
Only his second made field goal. He's done a great job getting himself to the free throw line, but a little stop head fake creates some extra space.
Camper now lies in wait at the table. Price off the up fake. Great backdoor cut and a hard stumble, clutching at his knee.
Just a little bump on that 2-foot stop, and the head fake gets him enough space from the defender Weems.
Last foul to Demerol, his second. So Weems to shoot 2. He has 4 of his 8 at the line. He's got 5 of his 9 at the stripe. So 7 fouls aside, Dan. We got a lot of time, and free throw attempts could be there in bunches for both teams.
I get the feeling that, yes, there is going to be a lot of free throw attempts in this last 11 minutes or so. And Nevada themselves have shot 16. It will be 18 now after this, but Grand Canyon more than 20.
They're converting at the line. 4-point lead once more for the Wolfpack. Grand Canyon led this game for almost 22 minutes. Nevada for only 5.5. Moore driving on Rollison. Forced to curl back. Henley. Head down on Weems. Owusu-Anane on high. Got it!
Just a little bit of an overhelp from Price. In help in defensive rotation allows Owusu-Anane just enough room to knock down the 3.
He now has 11, the third lope in double figures. Rollison. And it's high up. We'll get a jump ball. Send it the other way.
Price goes to help. Anane gets into the correct spacing and in the vision of Henley, knocks it down, his first triple of the evening.
He's a man known more for rebounding. He's an efficient shooter, but not a volume part of his game. Henley hard. Screen by Dever. Owusu Anane fouled by Price. That's going to be his fourth. He's hardly played since the 5-minute mark of the first half.
That's where you have to understand and recognize who you're closing out to. Yes, Owusu Anane just knocked down a 3, but I would rather have him take a contested jump shot as opposed to dribble drive, put me in a position where I can pick up my 4th.
So 1 and 1 to come. Bonus free throws. They have missed 8 of 11 free throws since halftime.
If they go on to lose this game, they're going to look at missed opportunities here to start the second half from the free throw line.
See the foul concern. Price with very limited minutes. He's had foul issues most of the game. Camper's been quiet, hadn't been on the bench. Oh, great steal. Poked away by Henley. Surges to the rim. Changes to the left hand. Grand Canyon's first lead since it was 48-47. Our 6th lead change of this overall tight game. Now the ball getting stagnant for Nevada. Can Camper be a solution? Bumped, finishes.
Well, it's stagnant because they're trying to find ways to get Camper the ball. GCU, a great job on those baseline stagger screens. He couldn't get free until deeper into the shot clock.
Grand Canyon's getting hot, hitting 6 of 8 from the field. Their struggles at the stripe, buoyed by their finishes at the rim. Devereaux misses. And a foul. As Henley crashed and looked for the loose ball. That'll be his 3rd.
As much as we've talked about Henley scoring, defensively he's been equally as good tonight. His 3rd steal leads to the layup in transition.
But now it is his foul that opens the door to bonus free throws. So Weems for a 1 and 1. Camper has led the charge with 21 for Nevada. Weems 2nd in scoring on the team. He's got 10, 6 at the stripe.
Keep in mind, Weems, big-time scorer at the junior college level. He's comfortable on this floor. Had 30 against UNLV. Second half of the Mountain West Conference play.
Nevada wrecked Air Force in the first round. Biggest blowout in Mountain West tournament history. Grand Canyon earned a bye in year 1 of the Mountain West. Weems hits. And Nevada's been money at the line. 18 of 23 as a team. We approach 8 minutes in a 1-possession game. Henley crossing over. Holding that pivot. Owusu Anane screen. Williams threads the bounce pass. Henley rejected and fouled. That'll be Armo trading with his 4th.
The cut, the reaction defensively from the weak side. That almost finish would have brought the entire Lopes fans to their feet. He double clutched that. Looked as if Armo Trading had. On second look, it was a foul. I was about to say it looked like he had a lot of ball, but got the ball with his left hand, all arm with his right.
So now Steve Alford has a bit of a quandary, right? Armo Trading's got 4, Price has 4, so he's going to his 3rd big who doesn't play a ton. Jariah Coleman only plays 6 minutes a game on the year.
And he comes in and typically these type of moments when they've got foul trouble, not much of a scorer. He's a screener, rebounder. He has got to make sure if he fouls, he makes the most of it.
Here comes Nevada. The lead whittled back down to 1. Comer darting to the rim, right at Demerol. That'll be a foul, his 3rd. Oh, the foul concern heightening. Each shot just matters. Who will punch their ticket to the semis?
At Wayfair, delivery and setup can be as easy as, well, doing nothing.
That was fast.
Room of choice delivery and fast expert setup.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
At Ameriprise Financial, we know our clients are so much more than clients. They're go-getters and game changers, legacy leavers and visionaries, healers and confidants. The goals that matter most to you matter most to us. Helping you achieve them is what we do best. With personal financial advice from an advisor you can trust and goal-based investing in solutions, it's no wonder we have a 4.9 out of 5 client satisfaction rating. Ameriprise Financial. Advice worth talking about.
Southwest boarding begins now.
Oh no. Group Z.
I thought you checked us in last night.
Well, I was a minute late.
I can't have a middle seat. Just hurry up. We gotta sit together. No, move it faster. It's pandemonium.
Act natural. Is this seat taken? You gotta ask him.
I am not sitting in a middle seat. Get out of the way.
Reese's eggs are back, and we hit them somewhere you'll never find. Psych! We put them everywhere. Grocery stores and supermarkets, gas stations, and chiropractors' offices, bowling alleys and grocery stores, which we already mentioned. Reese's.
Don't worry. You can't prevent sick days. But you can prepare with Kleenex lotion tissues that protect, soothe, and moisturize your skin. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
You can feel the finality that could come in a conference tournament. Mountain West has sent 4 or more to the big dance in each of the last 4 years. Free throws have been a concern in this game, with Nevada and Grand Canyon seeking the semifinals and a date with the 1 seed Utah State.
Hey, look at that number. 5 of 13 from the free throw line in the second half. Grand Canyon has done a good job putting foul pressure on, but haven't been able to take advantage.
Well, without a Demerol, his 3rd before the break, team's 9th. So Comer at the line. After the sequence, it will be double bonus rest of the way. Each team is at 9 fouls. So this is the last of the 1-and-1 free throws this game will see. Comer converts. He was praised by Steve Alford for his efforts in the annihilation of Air Force. Said that he was strong, physical, and particularly thought his defense was outstanding as Robinson was a bit limited.
Yeah, Comer defensively, he's going to give you a tremendous effort. He's a 3rd leading scorer on the season. Struggled in both of the matchups against GCU tonight, only 1 of 6. He's got 5 turnovers. Nevada back in the zone again. They don't play a lot of zone, but sometimes coming out of timeout, you just change things up, alter the rhythm of your opponent.
Musuanane darting end line. Demerol good up fake. The 3rd big is in, and Jariah Coleman picks up his first foul. Both Elijah Price and Joel Armo trading at 4 apiece. So Demerol at the line. Grand Canyon hits some free throws this second half. And the other difference since the break, Nevada's doubling up Grand Canyon in paint points since halftime, 12-6.
Well, a lot of that's due to the activity level of Weems here in the second half. Camper has gotten to the rim a number of occasions as well.
Demerol snaps Twine twice. 1-point game. The first and only other matchup this year between these teams went to overtime. Comer driving on Williams. Weems saves that ball. Camper's got 21 to lead the way. Now he's got the ball, 7 to shoot. Driving, switches right hand, missed, tipped by Demerol, ripped by Henley. On the run, shielding, has it knocked free. Owusu Anane tried to save it. Hold your beverage. Sideline out of bounds. Saw a big splash.
Situation though where Henley, you love the fact that he's constantly in attack mode. He creates contact as that replay shows the drink going flying, but there's a time and place where you have to understand you don't have an angle, you don't have the ability to get all the way to the rim or create a foul. Get back, get into a set, get into an offensive concept that's going to give you an opportunity to score.
Is that a turnover if you spill your drink courtside?
I would think so, especially if they have to pause the game and maybe bring out the towels.
Oh, Weems going right at Henley, who has picked up his fourth, and he is not happy. 6:47 to go, and Grand Canyon's leading scorer one foul away from being out of the game.
Good job there from Steve Alford, getting Weems coming off screens, Curley going to his left. So many times lefties are overly dominant with that left hand, gets into the body of Henley, draws that foul.
Southpaw stroke, a point. Rollison back in for Nevada. Is Henley going to stay in there with 4?
It looks as if he is, and this is where, as a coach, Bryce Drew trusts Henley as a senior to know how to play with 4 fouls in the biggest of moments.
Weems, for all the struggles Grand Canyon has had at the line, Nevada has been nails. Henley has not fouled out once all year. Williams, contested by Camper, hit it. Double fist from Bryce Drew, animated coaching.
GCU now in his zone. Find the soft spot, whether it's the nail, Camper or runner along the baseline has been a lot of their activity against man, but you can also do it against zone.
Rollison. Lowry. Backdoor. Weems reverse. Rattles in. Oh, what a cut. What a pass.
He has really stepped up now. 16 points. 10 of 11 from the free throw line, but another terrific cut to create an opportunity.
Henley. Long 2 is true. He's got 18.
That's just knowing your game. Not much of a three-point shooter, but when he gets the defender on his hip, angle drive, keep him on his hip, bump to space, and knock it down.
Lowry for 3. Zone buster. Timeout, Nevada.
Not sure that's what Steve Alford drew up. Bryce Drew would give him that shot more times than not. But Lowry steps up and makes them pay in a big moment. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.
Southwest boarding begins now.
Oh no. Group C.
I thought you checked us in last night.
Well, I was a minute late.
I can't have a middle seat. Just hurry up. We gotta sit together. No, move it faster. It's pandemonium.
Act natural. Is this seat taken? You gotta ask him.
I am not sitting in a middle seat. Get out of the way.
A little separation for Nevada, matching its largest lead at 4. That's after our Geico play of the game, the 3 ball from Lowry.
Well, Caleb Lowry's had a number of opportunities to take threes. He's passed them down, and for the most part, for good reason. He's not a big-time three-point shooter. Steps up with confidence and conviction, knocks that one down.
What does that do to Grand Canyon after they had gone zone for several possessions? They're almost daring Nevada to shoot, and Lowry's up to the call.
Yeah, a lot of times you go zone to try to funnel the ball to a player such as Lowry that you want to take that shot. Now you kind of play that cat and mouse game. Well, he just hit one. Do I fully close out, take away the 3? Do you dare him to shoot another one?
Now there is individual foul concern of significance. Elijah Price, a dynamic big for Nevada, has 4, and it looks like He'll remain on the bench here. He's hardly played since 5 minutes to go in the first. And Grand Canyon, Henley is still out there playing with 4. He picked up his 4th at the 6:47 mark. He's their leading scorer. Williams. Loose ball, pin balls to Lowry.
Camper not giving up on the play. Pokes it away from behind.
Rolison surveys the defense. Armo trading in with 4. Camper short, thought he got hit. I mean, both teams are begging for calls.
They're used to the whistle being blown tonight. Each team has shot near 30 free throws.
Henley, no look. Perhaps he should have. Gave it away to Lowry. There's that man again. And you can feel Nevada a little more deliberate here. Weems has been the Robin to Camper's Batman in this quarterfinal. Hard contact off ball, whistle and foul on Williams, battling with Lowry. Williams with the second.
Lowry setting a screen for Camper to free him up, and Makai Williams just runs right through the screen. Take a look at the bottom right of your screen. He didn't just run through him, wrapped him around the waist, pulled Lowry to the ground.
Was that sold a little bit though, maybe?
It was sold a little bit, but at the same time, you know, if you're Williams fighting through that screen, you can't wrap your left arm around the hip and give it a tug and try to sell a moving screen.
So Lowry, who's had some big points, he's been perfect from the field, from deep, from the free throw line, looking for his 9th point of the afternoon. Sometimes it's your day.
Go to the craps table tonight, young man. That was sitting on the rim for seemingly a second.
The biggest lead Nevada has known on the game. The Lopes' largest deficit. Williams down the heart of the paint, draws a foul. Points off turnovers in the first half, 11-0 Grand Canyon. Since the break, 10-3 Nevada.
Well, they've been really opportunistic when they've been able to get a steal, pushing it out in transition. Weems has been a beneficiary more times than not in that category.
Colorado State now in the building, ready for the matchup with San Diego State. The last foul of Biggie, it goes on Armo trading his 5th. He is fouled out, so roll the dice now. Nevada is going to put Elijah Price in. He's on the right block. This is his first minute since he picked up that 4th foul at the 9:45 mark.
For Price, knowing that you have 4 fouls, you have to be cognizant and aware to do your work early, because Demerol does a terrific job working the offensive glass.
4-point game. Both teams know the weight of this matchup. Contact again, and it's Camper and Payne who at first clutched at his right leg.
Camper goes up to set a rip screen to bring, it looked like Lowry to the low block, and Demerol just runs right through him.
That's going to be his 4th for F.A. Demerol.
So trying to bring Price to that low block for an opportunity. But if you're Demerol in that situation, you have to have awareness of what action might be run at you, whether it's a cut or a screen, and you can't just run right through the chest of a screener.
So now Camper, game high 21, make it 22.
Curious if Nevada maybe tries to sneak one more possession of zone just to keep GCU off guard, knowing that next dead ball, you're going back to a timeout and you can reconfigure what your strategy is.
Conference newcomer Grand Canyon, longtime stalwart Nevada, lob to Demerol, off the pause bucket.
Terrific set there. Grand Canyon completely clears out the weak side. Demerol is fronted by Price, and then he does not want to pick up his 5th foul.
How can Price help Nevada offensively?
Well, in this situation, you're screening, making sure you're set to free up Camper. Go to the offensive glass, but don't be overboard and put yourself in a position to get the call.
And here it's Price going right at Demerol. And that means F.A. Demerol is fouled out. 2 men with strong basketball roots, sons of coaches, star players, now trying to lead this generation to a championship. Bracket week presented by Kubota.
Who's in? Who's out? March Madness is about to begin. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Selection Show on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
This is the story of the one who knows well-prepared workdays take off smoothly and land right on time. That's why he counts on Grainger. With next-day delivery and professional-grade products, Grainger helps ensure he, his crew, and thousands of passengers fly through the day like clockwork. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you suffer in pain? Are you stiff, tense, or less active than before? Introducing the EasyWell Remedy Massage System that combines the incredible effects of vibrational therapy, targeted deep tissue shiatsu massage, plus soothing infrared heat. A triple fusion of therapeutic experiences. Full body vibrational therapy increases blood circulation and reduces inflammation. Look at these beads moving from the powerful vibrational motors.
It's like 1,000 little fingers just vibrating my body from head to toe.
Infrared heat penetrates deep to reduce pain, soothe, and relax.
Remedy gets in there and helps deal with the source of the pain, so you feel much better.
The Ultra Shiatsu pillow with 6 infrared heated nodes mimics a professional massage. Plus, it's detachable for deep relief anywhere you need it.
It's just something that you're gonna have to feel for yourself.
Experience the true remedy for your pain and stiffness. Call now.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Werner, the official ladder of NCAA March Madness. Every step matters.
3.5 left. A tight game in this quarterfinal. Foul concern. F.A. Demerol just fouled out. So a big on each side. Joel Armo trading done for the day for Nevada. Henley and Price, 2 impactful players. Each have 4 for these respective teams.
But that's where that 4th foul for Demerol, where he was being screened by Camper and just ran through the chest, makes you reflect and say, why? You're big enough where you're a second late to read and react, get to the point where you still can contest a shot. You don't need to foul in that situation.
Price has played 17 minutes. He has 3 points. He has been the weak link for Nevada free throw shooting wise. On the game, Nevada has outdueled Grand Canyon at the line dramatically, but Price has missed 4 of his 5. The rest of the team has missed 2 total in 27 attempts. And it rattles loose. Here comes Grand Canyon. Winners in 9 straight conference tournament games going back to the RAC days. Now year 1 in the Mountain West.
4-guard lineup now for GCU. Expect a lot of pick and rolls with Owusu Anani.
Williams stepping back. Oh, wow. Gutsy bucket. One-point game. Price screen. Rollison hold. Camper trying to cut. Price spins into contact. A foul on Williams. Double bonus. He's got 3. Bryce Drew wants an explanation.
Not much of a foul there. Good job from Williams getting underneath the big, which a lot of times as a guard you're taught to do in an isolation situation like that.
That's in for Price, who on the year is a 74% free throw shooter, the most free throw attempts and makes in the league this year. They have tied their season high for free throw makes as a team. Anu Zenith. They were top 10 of the country as a team in free throw makes and takes entering this tournament. Blocking foul! That'll be Von Weems with his third.
Doesn't quite beat Henley to the spot. Tries to sell the charge to the official to no avail. Where guess what, John? We're going back to the free throw line.
This has become an almost de facto free throw shooting contest, and that's part of why Nevada has the lead. Henley is 9 of his 18 at the line today. Coming up, 8:30 Eastern, join our college basketball experts in the studio. They talk all things conference tournaments, highlights and top plays, and unmatched insights. Bracket Week continues here on CBS Sports Network. 1 of 2, Price the board, 2.5 to go. What do you want here?
I expect Camper to run off a number of screens along the baseline. You got to be aware of Weems, who's been great cutting off the ball as well, but Price is active on the offensive glass, so you got to make sure you finish the possession.
Camper free briefly for Moore. They try to smother a man-to-man, 7 to shoot. Rollison behind the back, tough two, miss. Grand Canyon ball down to Deuce.
And that's what GCU wanted to do. Make someone other than Corey Camper try and make a play. Rollison, who's played fairly well tonight, isn't as comfortable in those late game situations as Camper is.
Grand Canyon hasn't led since it was 56-55. 9:20 to go in the half. A foul. And this is shaping up like it's going to come down to free throw shooting between here and this game's conclusion.
Because both teams are really trying to attack you off the bounce, knowing that a little bump may get you to the free throw line. If you're defensively in help side, if you don't fully commit, you have to make sure you choke off the weak side in offensive rebound opportunities.
Found a Camper his second. Demerel is done for the day with 5. Williams has been one of the pure Lopes shooters at the free throw line of the game. Had hit 5 of 6. He hits 1 of 2 here. Nevada hasn't hit a field goal in over 3.5 minutes. Steve Alford wants a timeout. You can see the difference on the half. Nevada's +9 in points since the break, with Grand Canyon leading a slew of points at the free throw line. This is the second matchup of the season between these squads. Game 1 came the 27th of January. Down 3, late in the game. Tyler Rollison, zeros, fouled in the act of a triple. He hit all 3, overtime at 13-7. The Wolfpack outdo it in that extra frame. They take it by 6. It was an ugly shooting game, a lot of defense. It's been a little better in that regard here today. What do you see?
Well, both teams in that game shot under 40% from the field. Here in the second half, you touched on it. It essentially feels like it's coming down to a free throw shooting contest. It's been a rock fight defensively. Both teams not giving an inch. Neither team really shooting it, but they're not built to shoot a lot of threes. Only 4 made threes for Nevada on the night, 6 for GCU.
And guys, the demons of that game too on the free throw line. 1 for 5 at the line in the final couple minutes, and it was Grand Canyon's top players, similar to tonight, that just couldn't consistently make free throws.
And a big part of it in that game, and that's a great point, Evan, is how tired they were. They had 3 men play 43 or more minutes. The 5 starters all played 37 minutes.
And big time knowing that Nevada is playing their second game in 2 nights, even though they didn't have starters play extended minutes against Air Force yesterday.
Comer was subbed in. 10 on the timer. Runners everywhere. Camper comes to it. Driving by Moore, explodes and finishes. Could have come down to Camper versus Henley. As you documented in the open, they have been the stars. Crossover, Price playing with 4 fouls. He falls down, saved near the sideline by Stromer. They give it away. 1 minute.
Terrific switch there from Price on the pick and roll up top, not picking up his 5th foul as Henley attacked.
You're playing this straight, right?
I think so. I think you play this straight. You're not in a foul possession game just yet. If you get a stop, push, and look for a quick opportunity.
Looking for a 2-possession lead. Kick corner, Lowry! No! Price had it, hit and foul. That'll be 2 free throws. Owusu Anane's got 3.
Camper is, again, a multiple level scorer. Doesn't settle for the 3-pointer. Henley a little off balance on that closeout. Provides Camper all the room he needs to attack for the finish.
Price has sat for half the game in foul concern. And he has bricked his share of free throws in this game. He has now missed 6 of 9. We'll get a timeout from Grand Canyon.
And that's why you don't foul early in that possession. Play it out. They weren't able to come up with the rebound was GCU, but still, you put a poor, at least for tonight, free throw shooter on the line. Misses the first, gonna make him think now on the second.
Corey Camper, a spectacular showing so far.
Well, he's had some big-time performances throughout the year. 35 against Boise State on the road, but tonight he got them going in that first half where everyone else seemed to struggle. Has continued it going here in the second. 25 points, scoring again in a variety of different ways, from the 3-point line all the way at the rim, as well as pull-ups.
His most explosive scoring showing since that Boise Bowl game 10 games ago. Nevada's got the arrow. That's enormous. Each team is 1 timeout. It's double bonus. We still have a decent amount of time. We're probably going to get a timeout or 2 before then, but I want you to look forward. What is your general rule of thumb, foul or no foul, if you're dealing with that high 1-possession game in a late 5-6 second situation?
Well, a lot of teams now have changed what they've done in years past because of the continuation rule. If it looks as if it might become a shooting opportunity, and you get whistled maybe if they're beyond the 3-point line, that plays into the thought process as a coach. If he makes this, I think you play it completely straight. If you're up 3, you may consider it, but you have to make sure if you do foul, there is no chance he's in the motion of shooting.
And you saw that graphic, the most combined free throw attempts in a Mountain West tournament game in a decade. And we're not done. And who knows if another 5 minutes might go on the clock.
Very well could, especially how their first meeting went in Reno.
And there's such tension on each respective sideline. Who is on to face Utah State in tomorrow's first semifinal? An incredibly important free throw for Elijah Price. Rattles in. The one he's needed most so far. Here comes Grand Canyon, down 2 possessions, 7-second differential. Williams needs quick offense. Squirts corner, out of bounds, Nevada ball! Now you gotta steal and then foul if you don't get it, right?
Yeah, you gotta go for a steal quick. If you don't get it on the first pass, or maybe the first or second dribble, you've got to foul. The way the game has been called, that looked like an awful lot of contact, but Williams also trying to sell it in that situation.
Camper surrounded, hounded, dribbles through, 26 seconds. Comer across. They're trying to give the foul. And now the whistle, 21.8.
Great poise by Camper as he's trapped deep in the corner. The footwork, the balance along that sideline. They were able to squirt away about 7 or 8 extra seconds there.
Foul goes to Williams, his fourth, so Comer to the line. He's hit 2 of 2 today, 78% on the season entering this tournament. Converts. Now Steve Alford telling his bigs, don't bother mid lane to rebound, get back.
Get back. I would imagine Nevada switches everything on the perimeter, especially because Price, as your 5, can move laterally, but don't foul.
Nevada nails at the line, and that very well is the deciding factor in the game. Under 20 seconds, they need to hoist. Williams pops, he's hit! In the act of a 3, stop the clock, 14.1!
There's one thing you don't want to do in that situation, is foul a 3-point shooter. Williams got a good look at it, almost got it to drop, but Camper fouls him right on the elbow. No question about that. Williams will be at the line where he's an 80% free throw shooter. He makes all 3. This is still very interesting.
Foul to Camper is 3rd. He's now 7 of 9 today. And what turnabout would be fair play if it were a Nevada foul in the act of a Grand Canyon 3 in the late stage? It's the 2nd.
That would be considering everything that happened in Reno. Now, the one thing with a made free throw, it allows GCU to pick up their full court pressure with a little more organization. Go for a quick steal and you got a foul.
3rd free throw is a miss. Loose, fall down, and a foul set at the other end. It was Camper that got that ball and got hit. That's going to go on Henley. So Jaden Henley has fouled out. The top scorer for Grand Canyon is done, 13 seconds. So that means Camper will go to the line. Henley, 19 points, 10 at the line, 3 boards. But Camper, who has been exquisite today, is looking to add on to his game-high 25.
Interesting. Between these 2 huddles, Tayshawn Comer was trying to sneak into the GCU huddle and see what Bryce Drew was drawing up on the board.
Well, Caleb Shaw is in. He was tops in the WAC from 3 at 43% last year. He's not played a whole lot, had only just come back on Saturday after an ankle sprain cost him a couple of months. But he's in there purely as a shooter because they know they need quick made 3s. Nobody mid lane to rebound. This is what you saw. Oh, hey, coach.
Wrong color jersey.
Most free throw attempts that Nevada's had in the year. 13 seconds. Time ticking. Williams hoists. He's fouled! Again in the act of a 3.
I don't know if I have ever seen that happen twice in the final 30 seconds or so of a game. Can't imagine what is running through Steve Alford's head, but if you're in Comer, yeah, you did just slightly graze the elbow. You can't put yourself in any position where the official can call that.
So Williams converts the first. He's got 21. Grand Canyon hasn't hit a field goal in almost 3 minutes, and that's an incredibly costly miss. And I think there'll be reflection on all the many missed free throws. Grand Canyon this half, 14 of 26 at the line. 8.7, Owusu Anane fronts. Clean entry to Comer, he's fouled, 7.3, and now it's window dressing. Nevada is 7.5 seconds away from making it a clean sweep of Grand Canyon in 2 matchups this year. Getting on to the semis for the first time in a long time. They haven't been there since 2021. Nevada had fallen in 4 straight quarterfinal appearances. Comer converts. As a team, they're over 80% at the line today, with over 40 free throw attempts.
And this second half's been just a march to the free throw line, 26 of 31 before this attempt.
Hits them both. We'll get a timeout. Grand Canyon has not tasted defeat in a conference tournament in multiple seasons. Had won 9 straight conference tournament games from their days in the WAC. But year 1 of the Mountain West, they got the bye. And they also got the best from Nevada, which walloped Air Force yesterday. Did not look clean to the first half here today, but has done a little bit of everything in the second.
Well, I think the separating factor was the last 3 minutes or so of the first half and the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second, where Nevada was finally able to kind of get comfortable offensively. They were able to get Camper coming off screens. Yeah, they dealt with the foul issues of Elijah Price, but they started controlling the game as far as not turning it over, getting into good offense.
So Grand Canyon length of the floor, down 6, 7.3. Shaw trigger. It's Williams. Pops the 3. Got it. 2.9. Timeout Grand Canyon. And that time there was no Nevada defender anywhere near him to foul.
I'm pretty sure the message from Steve Alford was do not foul. That doesn't necessarily mean don't play defense. Don't be in their area. But with that made 3, 2.9 seconds left, there is still plenty of time.
The previous plays under review for potential timing.
So they're going to take a look at the clock, see if they should add time. You know, I think back to Virginia in the NCAA tournament. It was against Furman. They turned it over the least of any team in America. End of game, gave it away, and a young man who had missed 20-something straight threes in a row hit a 3 to knock off a high seed Virginia. Nevada leads the Mountain West, fewest turnovers in the league. They give it away. Grand Canyon could have a shot to take a 3, to tie, and maybe with a foul to win.
And a lot of times what you see in a situation like this is a team throw it long. Well, I called a game earlier this year, Boise State at San Diego State. They tried to do that, underthrew it. BJ Davis, San Diego State, got a steal, pushed it, knocked down a 3 to force overtime. But if you're Nevada, make sure you set a good screen, come to the basketball, anticipate a gamble for a steal and or a foul.
The length of Dennis Evans has just subbed into front. Von Weems to trigger. When these teams met in January, roles were reversed. A foul in the act of a 3, 3 free throws forced overtime. Bounce entry, Comer hit, foul 2.9. If he hits 1, it's probably done. The foul goes on Williams, so he is fouled out. So Williams and Henley, along with Demerel, all retired in this game for Grand Canyon. Comer, 6 for 6 today. 4-point game. And a fist pump from Steve Alford.
It's pretty much academic at this point if he makes this second free throw.
And you can see the body language on these Lopes players. They realize it. The finality is here. A rare miss for Nevada. An air ball to end it. We have another upset in this tournament. The 5 takes out the 4. Nevada had to play in the first round. It will play in the semis. Grand Canyon in year 1 of the Mountain West is one and done in the quarters.
Big time credit to Corey Camper Jr. 27 points. Kept them afloat early when Nevada couldn't get into much of an offensive rhythm. Neither team able to be rhythmic in the second half. It was a free throw contest down the stretch that ultimately Nevada prevailed in.
So we'll see Utah State, Nevada. That'll be our first semifinal. 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 local here on CBS Sports Network tomorrow. We still have San Diego State, Colorado State, New Mexico, and San Jose State to come. Andrew Catalon and Steve Lapis will have that call with Evan Washburn. What'd you learn so far in these first two quarterfinals?
It's always up for debate in the Mountain West as far as who's going to prevail. This tournament, I've called it a number of years, you never know what to expect. The 1 seed, Utah State, struggled early, able to prevail against UNLV, and then this was a tremendous physical defensive game throughout the night where Nevada was able to make enough big plays and free throws down the stretch.
Led by Corey Camper, who's with Evan.
Corey, congrats on the win. Unique flow to that second half. What was required to get it done when there was over 50 combined fouls?
We regrouped in the first half. We went in. Coach said they played harder than us. They kicked our butt. They was pushing us all over, and they know. I think each guy to see, no, that's not us. We don't get pushed around. We do the pushing.
What was your mindset? You put this team on your back, especially when it came to scoring.
Just staying focused, just letting my work do the talking. My teammates trusted in me, my coaches trusted in me, and it just happened to fall my way.
You get a shot at Utah State. You guys split during the regular season. Early thoughts on that matchup?
I know like this one, it's going to be a very physical one. We just got to go in, regroup, and just be ready.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Nevada had 50 on the board after the break. Final score 84-80. Wolfpack. For Dan Dickau, Evan Washburn, and our entire crew, I'm John Sadak. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. After these commercials, to New York for Inside College Basketball. So long from Las Vegas, Nevada, by 4 out of the semis.
This is Freshpet. Here, there are no fillers, no spray-on flavors, no compromises. Just vet-developed recipes packed with fresh meat and healthy veggies. Because real fresh food belongs in everybody's bowl.
Don't worry. You can't prevent sick days. But you can prepare with Kleenex lotion tissues that protect, soothe, and moisturize your skin. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
Introducing new Titleist Pro V1X Left Dash. More dash speed.
Wow, it gets out there fast. Yeah.
Proven dash spin.
It holds, and that's exactly what I'm looking for.
And lower dash flight.
Holy smoke.
It's everything a dash player loves and more.
Hi. Hi. Chocolate fundraiser.
With the Chase mobile app, things move a little more smoothly. Deposit checks easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
What if I get a fender bender?
State Farm's there with the assist.
Jersey swap?
Jersey swap.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
Oh, I'm feeling this.
I assisted with security things.
Swap.
I assisted with popcorn.
Swap.
Get that jersey.
Get your corn there.
Yeah, I assisted myself by filing a claim on the State Farm app.
Swap.
In my halftime show, I had
a great story.
We're done swapping. Too late, circus man.
State Farm with the assist.
All right, everybody, welcome back inside our New York studios. Inside College Basketball Bracket Week presented by Kubota. We are halfway through the Mountain West quarterfinals. We got Emeka Okafor. We got Pete Gillen, John Rothstein.
Giddy up.
I'm Adam Zucker. So most recent result here, Nevada, who was down 11 in the first half against the team that allows 68 points a game, Emeka. They scored 50 in the second half that we just watched.
I said this was a battle of the bid stealers, and the game was a true battle.
like if you look at the statistics of the game, it's pretty much even the whole way through, and you get the impression that if they were to play this game again, Grand Canyon might come away with the win. But the beauty of March is that it's one game and you're done. Nevada got it done, and they're moving on.
Pete?
Well, I thought it was a battle of free throws. Right?
Yes.
They get to the free throw line a lot. They made 36 free throws, 80%, right, for Nevada. Steve Alford, the great coach, was a great free throw shooter. It wasn't an accident. There's some correlation. I'm sure they work on it. They really study it. They do film on it. So free throws, I thought, won the game tonight. And I thought the execution of Nevada and their half-court offense was tremendous. Great spacing, screens, curl, a lot of movement, and they got a lot of open space, got to the rim, got fouled. I thought the free throws won the game for Nevada.
Yeah, no, I think one thing we have to look at, too, is the element of having a coach like Steve Alford, who's been in a million conference tournaments during March. Think about Steve Alford's career in basketball. Took Missouri State to the Sweet 16 in 1999. Took Iowa to the NCAA tournament. Took New Mexico to the NCAA tournament. Took UCLA to the NCAA tournament. Took Nevada to the NCAA tournament as well. This guy is not in his first rodeo. It's another element to the bid Steelers being at a high volume at the Mountain West Conference tournament.
Yeah.
Nevada is another team, along with New Mexico, San Diego State, that is capable of winning 2 more games now for the Wolfpack and getting the AQ Saturday night on CBS.
Yes, thank you for the plug. And,
Thank you, Jim.
and look, free throws aren't going to be in the highlight, but since Pete mentioned them, like Grand Canyon in the second half was 15 of 27 at the line in what was
Big
a
difference,
one
right?
possession
Big difference.
game, yeah, versus 28 of 34. That's just a lot of free throws, period.
Yeah.
But hey, Grand Canyon, they were used to winning in their conference tournaments going back to 2022, had not lost since then. First Mountain West Conference tournament. Let's look at some of the highlights from this one as they faced Nevada here. And again, Nevada trailing by 11 at one point, but with the lead, Caleb Lowry putting them up 4, John.
Yeah, big-time shot right there by Lowry. And then you're going to see more here from Williams, Adam. Good patience, steps behind the line, drills it. Nevada getting a little bit of separation. Maybe not. It's a one-point game. Then hard drive, better finish that time for Corey Camper. And then Grand Canyon needs a bucket late. And then great defense forces a turnover. All of a sudden, Wolfpack moving on, Steve Alford moving on. We have a Nevada-Utah State semifinal matchup Friday night here on CBS Sports Network. Camper quietly, one of the more productive players that not a lot of people are talking about in the Mountain West. He had 27.
On 8 of 13 shooting. You mentioned Utah State, and there have been, now 11 one seeds who have lost in their conference tournaments. And Mountain West might be a 1-bid league this year, might be 2 if there's a bid stealer. So let's see what happened earlier against UNLV. Remember, UNLV won the first 2 meetings, including just 9 days ago on this court. Mason Falslev, Pete, huge day, 17 in the first half.
Terrific player, Elijah Perriman, the cross pass to Tucker Anderson for the 3, bang, Aggies lead 52-33. MJ Collins, terrific player, leading scorer, Utah State, bang, way downtown, Aggies lead, going ahead. Picks off a pass, here is that man again, MJ Collins throwing it down, Utah State wins, 80-60, wow.
Wow, you got excited about that one.
Nothing great, emotion.
Jared Calhoun, Bob Huggins' disciple, Pete.
Yep, exactly, John. You did your homework. I'm proud of you. He's a terrific guy. He played for Coach Rollie Massimino at Cleveland State, John. I worked for Rollie for 2 years and learned a lot of basketball.
And we're trying to see if Utah State goes out on top in their final year in the Mountain West. They did win the title back in 2020. So we do have 2 more Mountain West quarterfinals to come on CBS Sports Network tonight, including San Diego State and Colorado State at the top of the hour. The Aztecs, they're on the outside looking in, really needing to win this tournament to keep their 6-year tournament streak alive. New Mexico is among the first 4 out. They have San Jose State, who's already a bit of a surprise. Colorado State, by the way, they were the hot one. They come in having won 9 of the last 10. Emeka, what are you expecting here when we turn things over to Andrew Catalon and Steve Lapis at the top of the hour?
Yeah, so Colorado State, they're no stranger to streaks. Last year, they went on a 10-game win streak, rode that into the tournament. And this year, right now, they're on a 9. They've won 9 out of 10. San Diego State, on the other hand, they've lost 2 out of 3. To expand that out, 4 out of 6. One of those to Colorado State. So that being said, I think that Colorado just has the juice right now to get this game.
Okay, you got the juice.
On the other side, San Diego State's been a disappointment this season. There were massive expectations, obviously, coming into this season for San Diego State. It's supposed to be a better offensive team. This is a better offensive team than the team we saw last year make the first four and get blown out against North Carolina. But San Diego State in the past has played its best basketball in Las Vegas, the Mountain West Conference Tournament. This is a proud program that expects to be in the NCAA tournament. It would not shock me to see the Aztecs with Reese Dixon Waters, who didn't play last year, with B.J. Davis, one of the best guards on the West Coast that nobody talks about, get enough done here in Las Vegas to potentially steal a bid. The door is open for Brian Dutcher and company.
No question. Mecca make a great point. Right now, Colorado State, 8 out of 9, right? 4 out of 6 going the other way for San Diego State, all right? But you never kick a dog when he's down, okay? Because you better run for cover when the dog bounces up. San Diego State's been down.
Kick a doll, you said.
A dog.
A dog, oh, okay.
A dog.
He doesn't kick dolls.
San Diego State, it's Brooklynese. San Diego State, all right, they're used to winning. They know their backs to the wall. They want to go back to the big dance. Don't bet against Brian Dutcher and San Diego State. I'm picking them to win in a great game.
Okay. You know who's used to winning?
Yes, exactly.
You know who's used to winning?
Who's that?
Miami, Ohio. But they are the news of the day. It came from the MAC. Miami, Ohio, of course, the perfect season coming into this thing. 31-0. Yes, they lacked significant wins. They also didn't have the opportunities. Much debate surrounding the Red Hawks at-large hopes if they were to lose in the conference tournament, which is what happened against UMass in the quarterfinals. The fighting Frank Martins. We were tied with under 3 to go. Luka Dominitz getting the rebound, putting the Minutemen on top. John, Miami's been in a ton of close games.
And good thing they have Peter Suter, who drills that putback to tie the game at 81. Then a nice strong drive and finish by Hankins Sanford. And then Miami with a chance here to tie or take the lead, but a little sloppy down the stretch. This turnover was a decisive play. UMass and Frank Martin, he's still incapable of submission.
Oh, I love when you do that. So UMass is going to play Toledo in the next round, but Miami's updated resume, again, no quad 1 games this year, no quad 1 opportunities, but they now have a quad 4 loss. CBS Sports Bracketology moved them from a 10 seed now to an 11 seed, still in, not even in the first 4. We could see them in Dayton. Yeah. Dan Gavitt will join us from the selection committee headquarters shortly. But Pete, do you think because of this special season they've had, the human element takes over, that they're a lock to get in?
I think they should be in, my opinion. 31-0. Nobody in the country was 31-0. All right, before the postseason tournament, the only team. All right, they didn't play quad 1 wins, okay, because nobody would play them. Nobody wants to go to Miami, Ohio. They want to go with 3-for-1. I was at Xavier years ago, and we couldn't get a lot of games. You know, we'll play at Louisville, at UCLA, but they won't return it. So you can't blame them. I'm sure they wanted to play Ohio State, want to play Michigan State, but no. So I think they deserve to be in 31-0. Yes, Frank Martin, John made a good point, went to the Final Four with South Carolina. Wasn't his first rodeo. It's my second rodeo, my last rodeo. But Frank Martin's a great coach. They lost, disappointing. I think they should be first 4.
Fair, yeah. I think Dayton right now is where we would probably forecast Miami. But here's the thing. Dayton is a place where Miami would be right now on Thursday night. Yeah. But Miami lost control of its own destiny when it lost the right to keep playing. We just saw Nevada, a team that's not projected to be an at-large team, take a step closer to being in the NCAA tournament. They are not the only potential bid stealer out there. We have a couple more in the Mountain West. We have Seton Hall in the Big East, and there's still a plethora in the Atlantic 10.
No big words, John.
But just real quick, Bracketology is still projecting them to not have to go to Dayton. Nothing prevents them in the rules from going to Dayton. It would actually be kind of cool to be 2 hours away from campus if that was where they get sent.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're in the tournament at 31-0, I think you should be in the tournament at 31-1. It's very, very difficult to go undefeated. At some point, you're going to have to slip up. And like, Coach says, hey, it's not their fault of their schedule. Teams don't want to play them. Teams don't want to go to Miami. So they did the best with what they had, and I think that should be rewarded.
Yeah, because even we saw this year Gonzaga, right? They went to Portland and lost. These teams, you go on the road in conference, everybody gets upset at some point or drops a game at some point. They did not until this neutral site loss today against UMass. But now the MAC is going to steal a bid from the Big Dance, assuming Miami, Ohio does get in. The tournament coverage that we have for you from the MAC continuing tomorrow with the semifinals from Cleveland starting at 5 p.m. Akron the 2 seed, already winning. They are going to face the winner between Kent State and Ohio, which is coming to a close shortly. You saw the rest. So here you go. According to CBS Sports Bracketology, these are the last 4 in and first 4 out. This is entering Thursday.
Yeah.
Because Miami, Ohio, they weren't on this then because they were presumed to be winning the conference.
Right.
They are not on it now, but Miami, Ohio does enter the at-large pool, and so a bid steal from the MAC is going to knock somebody out. And the question now becomes, you see Auburn, right? Last team in. Is that team now Auburn? So they had their chance to play up the ranks against Tennessee earlier. Stephen Pearl. At Tennessee, big opportunity. Tahad Pettiford and Auburn, they were up 10 at one point, Pete, but then Tennessee explodes in the second half.
Tahad Pettiford sets a 3, bang, fouls. It's fouled, misses the free throw.
That was Nate Ament for the Vols.
Galen Carey gets his own rebound, finishes the second chance. Ahmed again, very talented player from the wing, bang. Vols win, 72-62.
And at one point, it was a 20-0 run by Tennessee, who will now face